Hey everybody, it's great to be with you today, Thursday, and have another live after the last live that we had when we were rolling out the collaboration video. And we're going to give a little bit of time for people to join. And one of the topics of conversation today is going to be Krabbe disease. So people are coming in, so we're going to go ahead and get started. It's been a bit of a crazy week. We not only have Nell that has been in pain, and I'm in the room here by her, and you might hear her a little bit, but you'll see the lives either be here or in the area where we've got the TV monitor. Those are probably the two main places that you'll be, depending on kind of how the week is going with her. So first of all, our hearts just go out to her, and we know that in between the lives and just even you connecting with people on TikTok and other places, the lights kind of go out, so to speak, and you're back in your routine at home and with the people that are there closer to your life and sometimes that's the hard time, right? The life behind the scenes, as I call it, I kind of call it. So I wanted you to know, particularly after the highlight of the last live that we had, where we had anywhere between 400 to 600 people, I think, uh, in and out of that live. And if you haven't seen that, be sure to go to the YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, and the collaboration video as well as the live is there. Hey, Laurel. I see Laurel and Courtney joining. Thanks for joining, you guys. It's good to see you guys. And so that's one of the things that's been weighing on my mind and heart that I wanted to just kind of bring out there more than anything is, um, after any kind of an event, even if it's an event such as the live that we had, when we had some people join on Zoom, and the excitement of having even more people come in from the love slapping and things, and just the belonging that a lot of people felt during that. There can be a tendency, I think, after that to kind of just go back to our homes, so to speak, and to fill a lull of some kind. And we really don't want to have that be the norm with uh, our inclusion at all. We want you to feel the weekly lives that we'll have for the most part is something that you can continue to look forward to. Of course, there's other places that you look to fill of that love and belonging, and we're just a piece of that. But just know that it's not something that we just go about our day and we don't think of you guys. So so I want you to know that it's something that we and that you and as we watch some of the posts that you make, and some of them we might be able to make a comment on or like, some we might not. Um, is a big part of our life. I work a lot of hours at a software company, and I'm also strive to be there with Nell and all the dynamics that go on with their, not just. Yeah, 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 and particularly, with us, with some of what we've been going through, we did have an opportunity to go and see little Taiten about two days before he passed, and it was sobering. I don't know if you guys have had any experience with what we know and understand to be the veil, if you will, um, where there's kind of a peaceful, heavenly kind of sacred feel around what's going on. You know that there's
This was him, I think.
what's that?
But I think that was the day we seen him.
Yeah, let me show you this. This was a picture that
That's my wingman.
that's Nell's wingman right there, the little guy. Uh, his spirit, his spirit was so strong, you guys, that our granddaughter, when she was over there, she just
Who's normally very. She's she's so full of energy. She's not even 6 months yet, and she's the funnest little. So they're, I think, about 8, 9 months apart.
Mhm.
She just, you could feel in her body her energy building, and then she'll just scream out, and then have a huge smile across her face. She is so full of life. She's never, ever been afraid of a stranger. She's always just curious and smiling and giggly and screaming with joy and just a little wiggle worm. Her hands always searching for something, a finger to hold or a face to hold or and so she was also able to be with Tate. So as Rex describes this, when she was with him, she was acting a little bit differently than she normally does. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, usually she'll aggressively put her hands on her my beard and just want to just be in your business. And she was just so gentle and soft,
And
and it's just
watched and stared at him for a while.
yeah,
Like she knew to be soft.
yeah,
I
just
even
sweet.
asked my sister, who this is her grandson that passed. I said, "Did Ninny yell?" You know, because we call her Ninny. Her name's Indy Gray. We call her. Everyone calls her Ninny or Ninny Pops. I said, "Did Ninny yell out?" And she said, "No. She'd watch him and kind of touch his face, but then just smiled and just her little gentle smiles, and she made everyone smile. And but yeah, it was like, I guess it was amazing to watch these two little souls communicate. Um, just like, you know, they had already made a pact before coming. I'm sure Minnie, her part of it was, don't worry, I'll make enough noise for both of us. So, you know, um, but yeah, it's been tough. And as we chose to talk about Krabbe disease, which is what Tatum had today. And next week, we are hopefully going to be having Courtney on, which I'm so excited about. Um,
Yeah, Courtney's on here, and she'll be here.
yeah,
She'll be our first guest next week, next
yes.
Thursday, you guys.
And we were going to have her sooner, but because it just is appropriate to focus on Tatum and what he suffered with, and very, very few people know what Krabbe is and what it does to your body, and how these little babies suffer. They, it is a great amount of suffering, and it puts these parents in so much torment. Um,
Kayla, I have a Kayla Lee Clark. I don't know if that's Kayla Taiten's.
No,
No, okay.
Hillary Butterfield.
I got a. It's Mars Vasquez. I don't know if that's Marcia.
Oh, is that Marcia?
Marcia, give me a shout out if that's you.
Marcia, that is, I love you. Well, she's a Vasquez.
I think that's Marcia.
Um, anyway,
We got Julie that's just joined.
so we're gonna talk a little, just spend a moment tonight talking about what Krabbe is, who it affects, and how simple of a test could be given before your baby leaves the hospital. And to me, how almost shameful it is that every single state has not passed this as a law before your child goes home, because it is a life to be spared if they can catch it early enough.
Some
And
early testing.
we are just, it's not, it wouldn't be expensive for insurance companies, and it's far beyond time. It was so hard for me personally to grasp.
Yeah,
Guys, listen, my
yeah.
little buddy who helped me not feel alone,
Yeah, Nell's
who
an
somehow
inspiration.
somehow made me feel like he was part of this mission, was to help protect me and to help find me and to help me find my strength again and to help me say, you know what, I'm not gonna wait for the perfect time to do lines or to reach out. He taught me more
Yeah, you can't
than
just
most adults.
wait for the perfect time to
Right.
show up more than like you want.
And so I say wingman in every sense of the word. And it's been it's been quite a large hole. So, and for those of you who don't understand quite, like, we all, as we cry, we can get our headaches or migraines. For me, it is very different. It's very, very sharp nerve pain. Uh, my left eye, it hurts so badly when a tear comes through, and then it's very, very, there's the outer nerves. I have different levels of pain, but the outer nerves is what I'm talking about when I'm crying, and then when I'm done, it without fail will cause a flare up. So this week is just, as you can probably imagine, been very tough
Yeah.
because what I have does not work with somebody that's human and Christ. It doesn't work. And so that's really tough. Um,
And his funeral's tomorrow, and there's a couple of things that we wanted to do to kind of honor him with this live and going forward. Of course, the efforts of future lives and that's going to always kind of carry his legacy in the spirit of of what has been part of Nell's dream as that evolves. And there's some things I don't want to get too much into to kind of detract from the focus and the respect that we wanted to give to Taiten and a little bit
yeah,
of awareness of his disease. But we have some things in the works and we're having conversations. I think I mentioned it just briefly earlier, but Nathan Osmond of the Osmond family, Camelin Morrison is an event coordinator, and she's a friend that we've
yeah.
been talking with.
And
And
some other big things that are possibly down the road
yeah,
that we
so
just can't even talk about right now. So it's,
she was mentioning whether it's having him perform on the live or be she. Nathan's friends with Chad Hymas. Chad Hymas is
Who
the one
was
that's in the
who was who
wheelchair
was the one in the wheelchair? Yeah.
with the collaboration, and he mentioned how pain comes in different forms, and we're going to talk about one of them with this Krabbe disease. But um, we're just going to let that kind of evolve how it goes down. I mean, it could end up being that me and Nathan Osborne are there at Chad's place where he's got more of a decked out studio thing, and we're on Nathan's podcast. It could be that we just have Nathan singing for us and try to do direct fundraising for the American Chronic Pain Association. So
Well, I
just
hope Cammy herself, who
yeah, because
writes
she
amazing,
writes the songs.
beautiful songs. That was her song that you heard Nathan sing. I believe they were able to.
Yeah, if you search all in under Nathan Osborne,
Cammy wrote that.
that song Cammy wrote for Nathan, and you can go and listen to it.
So, but Cammy is one of you guys will absolutely adore her. If we can even just get her on a Zoom, because
Yeah,
like so many of us here, you just have to show up however you
yeah,
can show up. And if you can't show up, that's fine as well. But one day, so she struggles with her very, very real um, pain and disease, and but talk about a warrior. You guys would love her, and she
yeah,
just never stops. It's amazing. Um, and just a little background about Candy. Her sister Charlene, Char to me, was my best friend growing up. We were neighbors and best friends, and Cammy was her older sister, who's the same age as my older sister. And anyway, amazing family, amazing people, and um,
yeah. And
just
she also knows Kristen Jensen. Kristen Jensen is Miss Utah County, and she's an advocate for bipolar. We I seen Stephanie join and Angela. Thanks
yep,
to you guys for joining. So Stephanie, uh, you'll want to look up Kristen Jensen. She's
yes.
Utah County. She's in the pageant for Miss Utah. But
And we have so many things, don't we? We have so many things in the works, and not just mental and physical, but we're also going to be eventually including, um, touching on a lot of issues in this world that just aren't, where we're still walking that rough terrain that cause mental and physical grief themselves. Um, so I hope, you know, my brother will be on here soon, who has a story to share, and I hope that he can help a lot of people out there. And I don't want to say too much, but he's suffered just to be himself
mhm,
and just to claim his right to be himself. That is mind blowing to me. And he suffered greatly for it. And I know other loved ones have as well, and it breaks my heart. So there's just endless. It's just endless. The more rights that I think about this, and the more I study about, and the more people I find to reach out to and see if they'll be on, and the more, um, it just keeps growing. And same with businesses. You guys know that I will be starting out with gifts that I've been gathering for a while now, because we're going to be doing 2 giveaways every week. But we'll be reaching out to companies here soon, um, asking for donations and asking for discount codes and asking for, because you all deserve the best, the very best. You deserve these businesses and these people to stand up for you and to look at you, to look in your direction and to say, this isn't okay. and we haven't done enough, and we've ignored it long enough. And so we're working hard behind the scenes. Thank you so much for being patient, especially this last week or two. It's just been a moment for our family where we've needed to pause and focus on
Yeah.
his tiny life. So,
Yeah. So we really appreciate your patience. We've got things that will continue to progress, but we're not anything like an Ellen DeGeneres or an Oprah
no, but they can
show.
watch out.
What's that?
No, but they can watch out. We're gonna
Yeah.
work. We're gonna work hard for you guys, and there's no one. To me, this is how what I tell Rex all the time. There's no one too big, no one too important, and no
Yeah.
one too busy for this and for you. I'm sorry. That is what I believe. And if
Yeah.
you're
It's true.
someone that can't handle that, there's other channels to watch. But I don't believe that I have no problem. I wouldn't have any problem walking up to Ellen DeGeneres and saying,
Yeah.
"Hey,
No, it's true.
this is being ignored. This is being, this has gone too long without the funding it deserves." Um, and like we said, there's so many besides chronic pain, which I am really the head of, but we're going to touch on the mental. We're going to touch on the
Hmm.
issues that people suffer with just to live their own lives without massive amount of judgment to the point where people are taking their lives. This isn't so. There's no one that I think is too big to approach, and of course we're just
Right.
just under 7,000 here. You guys, please, I beg you, if you can do anything, subscribe to our YouTube. We're trying to get to 1,000 so we can start lives there. The amazing thing about YouTube with the lives is I get to comment whether the live is done or not. We can't do that here. I
Mhm.
get because I want to be able to comment to every single one of you, and I want to be able to have a live on TikTok and a live on YouTube every week
Yeah,
where
that's what Tia Stokes does. In fact, if you guys hadn't heard, she's learned that she's cancer free right now with a bone marrow transplant
oh, that's
work, and she doesn't.
amazing.
Yeah, so she does.
Yay.
Yeah, so shout out
Oh, that's really good to hear.
to her. But you guys are all part of what I would call, and this is kind of what Nell's saying, is kind of the leadership, right? I'll just use Courtney for example, or Stephanie.
Oh, I
Um,
look at you, all of you
yeah,
right here in the beginning. You clearly are someone that sees something that has had a great need and you've attached to it. That makes you leaders. That makes you amazing, compassionate,
here
empathetic people.
here's an example of what Stephanie's saying here, how it's all tied together, and I really feel and hope that you guys feel and can see that unity. Stephanie was on a live. She's been influenced and inspired by you. You've been influenced
Yeah.
and inspired by Taiten. And there was a girl that was in trouble that Stephanie arranged and got some cops, and it helped save a life.
Oh, Stephanie, that's amazing.
And so she's saying, tell Nell that she inspired me, and the young girl was saved. We're not,
But it really touches
yeah, we're not messing around, you
me.
guys.
No, thank you so much, Stephanie, for doing that.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And like,
That's so powerful. We just we don't tap into. Okay, I'll tell a little story that will kind of give us a good laugh. And it kind of helped me, ironically, understand the the minute power that we tap into. It's so little. And we're capable of so much. And one thing that taught me that was when I was given too much THC and had a good solid 8 to 10 hour high. Now, this is medical marijuana. No, I'm not going and buying myself, street drugs and stuff, people. Because of what I'm diagnosed with and the amount of pain I'm in, they gave me a 3-to-1 ratio. So three or 4-to-1 of THC versus CBD. Because THC handles the pain better. Where what I understand from CBD, it's more of a relaxer, right? So we're trying to hit it hard. Well, that was too much for my brain to handle. So, um, while it was, and Rex will probably interject here and there because he had to be called home from work by my daughter, who could no longer handle me in that state. It was one of the most terrifying things. I'll tell you one thing: don't mess around with any drug. I don't care if they say it can be recreational. It's, it was terrifying, but at the same time, I had my brain opened up in a way that it was like walls fell down, and I tapped into more of my power, and I was stunned. At one point I was cross-legged sitting in the middle of the universe, and I was trying to tell Rex, my daughter, it's so much bigger than we imagine. And I was looking at planets circling around me, and and almost like other solar systems, and it was it taught me that we tap into so little of what we're capable of. And kind of stinks that I have to use medical marijuana as that tie-in, but it nevertheless it did. It taught me that. I was stunned at what my brain was seeing and creating and comprehending, and we could just tap in a little bit more of what we're capable of, both with our brain power, but also our hearts and souls. And when they all come together and they're all interlinked very strongly, and then we have people interlinking
Mhm.
each other's power, it is incredible what can be done and what can be done in a short amount of time.
Hey Ellen, hey Haley. Yeah, Stephanie, listening to Nell, I'm getting no pain in
And
vain on
she's
a
getting what?
shirt. I hope Texas lets medical pass.
Yeah,
And Stephanie was saying how she just was on put up she went on camera and was just like overwhelmed with the love that she was
that's amazing.
feeling. And that's just one of
I'm
many stories.
so
And
happy to
I
hear
know
that.
that Misty Marvin helped Tim.
Yeah, you guys,
So just keep it out there.
I keep thinking about, you know, the people in the live, which I need to apologize to right away because I was trying to, there's three, there's an iPad, an iPhone, and our laptop set up, and I was trying to look at three, but clearly it almost looks like I'm just looking down or closing my eyes, and I wasn't interacting, and that was because we were interacting
The
with
Zoom.
those who are on the Zoom call,
Yeah.
which was obviously, you know, what was very selflessly and carefully put together. I told Rex, next time maybe we can raise it up so my eyes actually look up. But
Hey Seth.
please don't. Oh, it made me sick to think. if any one of you were trying to ask questions or say something, or once in a while I'd see these beautiful flowers, and because I'm pretty new to TikTok, I had no idea what that was.
Somebody giving
And I
us
wanted to just say,
gifts.
hey, thank you. I don't know what it is, but thank you. If you guys were, I apologize. And this is where YouTube comes in and is better that way, because I could have gone back and I
Mhm.
could have seen everything that happened and very personally responded to every single person that was in there, as you so well deserve. We also will be doing more. We need to get our YouTube going because hopefully I will be having surgery sooner than later, and we would like to take you on that journey. We can't do that so much with in 60-second little things. Um,
She's saying that you can go back on TikTok now, but I don't know if you mean that that's the
like I
TikTok
could respond
recording.
to all the comments in the live.
Yeah, to respond to all the comments on
Right,
the
what's
live
live,
because
what wasn't
I
saved.
record it with an app and then upload that to YouTube. So we'll have to see if TikTok.
That would be awesome. We'll have
Yeah,
to
that'd be
check
cool.
into that. Yeah, and then TikTok blocked. I don't know what they did with our.
Yeah,
That was another thing that was just thrown into the mix this week that made it more difficult to communicate with you guys.
yeah.
But also with YouTube, I can spend as long as I want creating something to upload where we're taking you along.
Mhm.
You know, the days before surgery, the days after, which any of you who want to go visit, well, I'll let you explain this part, Rex, because I don't know
Mhm.
exactly what you've done in your bio tree thing. You guys, I'm really illiterate as far as TikTok. I apologize. But if you want to go find out what I'm talking about as far as the surgery, Rex, if you can just talk to them about where to find that
Mhm.
so they can actually read what's been kind of been going on behind the scenes for quite a while now between me and insurance. And
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Let me get into that. Um, Courtney said we've got the word out that people are not alone in this fight,
yes,
and
Courtney, you're one of the best. Courtney does amazing posts, you guys. Please follow her.
hey,
I
Seth
love
has joined.
Courtney. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's she's kind of started to create something called a minute in the life of or something, where you get 1 minute and she just will say how she's feeling maybe at that moment or maybe on a certain issue. And she's
Hmm.
made me laugh a couple times just
Yeah.
because the sheer, um, a part of our channel and our journey was so big of a part of it is love and laughter.
Hmm.
And one of the ways we can do that is just
Yeah, one
we
minute.
get laughing when we're understanding each other so well.
I love that she's done that. 1 minute in
Yeah,
life of the Spoonie.
that's what
I mean, it was an eye-opening, Courtney, just hearing some of what you've had to go through with the
yeah.
showering and things.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I get it. I get it. And then I get laughing and I love laughing. So, because
So,
she describes it so well, you know. And we can all really do amazing things lifting each other up. I just, for me, it boils down. You guys know my hashtag is a spoonful of sugar. Give one of your spoons, no matter how little you have, away. And sometimes that will be giving that selfless act to yourself, which, my word, we do not get that in our heads enough, especially as chronic pain um, community, where we can be very hard on ourselves, actually. But boils down to this: we just need to love on each other. That's it. And if people felt like people just want to shower me with love, and they want to show that through acceptance, and they want to show that through highlighting my story. It's that simple. And you guys, my word, we could not do this without you. You're just,
We've had an outpouring of people that have responded specifically to the GoFundMe that Nell's cousin, Dave Peck, and his wife, Christy, have created for her. And
they
uh,
did, and they did because of 4 insurance
mm,
denials. And this was with several doctors saying this is medically necessary.
yeah, we've
And
had four
insurance,
denials.
they could care less. Who I am, what I'm about, and you guys all know, you have all dealt with insurance. You've all dealt with feeling like, well, but did you even look at it? Do you even know who I am? Did you look at my history? Like and you
Yeah, or
know
did
that
you
we're
just
never going
get
to get those
treated by
answers.
a
Oh,
number
it's a
and
number, and I'll say go as far as this. It would be easier for them if I were dead because that just I they would save money.
because your expense and risk,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
and
we're a damn lot more than that. So
mhm,
if we can't, as we fight the insurance, well, if we need to, we'll fight for each other. But I had to finally reach out and say, I had to think outside of the box because doctors, and I am so blessed with the group of doctors I have right now. They have done anything possible for me within their limits and their power. And it's getting down to, well, there isn't any more options presented anymore. So I had to go outside of the box and think, okay, how am I literally going to survive this? Because I can feel myself get weaker. There's only so much a body can go through with the flare-ups and coming down and going back up because it is running a very strenuous race to get through a flare-up, and you guys know this. And mentally as well. So if you don't have a physical condition but you have a mental one, join in. We all know how that can be. Like physically, I have been at a couple times RX where I have said, I know for a fact now that your body can die of pain
mhm.
because I have just a couple of times after a couple procedures gone wrong where the doctors were absolutely shocked. It went in the complete opposite direction of what they were hoping. Um, yeah, your body can actually, just like it can go in shock. Well, as I get older and as I'm moving less and as the pain's not stopping, but my body's getting more tired and bone deterioration is setting in early. And I had to really think outside the box. I presented it to our doctors. They all quickly agreed um, and
there's
said medically necessary.
there's someone. Hey Jenna, hey Nikki.
Hey
There's
guys.
there's someone that has had success fighting insurances, and even Cami Morrison and I. She has some lawyers in her family, and having
Oh, we don't
a
have no
lawyer
money for lawyers.
letterhead come across
Yeah.
insur. So to be
You
honest,
guys did.
I'm not close to it, but I've spent enough time already
Oh
to
my
where it's
word.
just it's
It's been.
it's
We
brutal
don't
to
have
spend the
enough
time.
money for lawyers. I mean, medical
It's
expenses
a
that
lot
we
of
are
fight.
still paying on from years ago, and then and we'll never get into the details of of money or meds. I don't think, but you know, um, or at least all that I'm on, but it's a substantial amount. The insurance company could easily see how long this has gone on, how many procedures she's done. She's never ever said no to a doctor that said, "Hey, I've got the answer. Hey, I've got the cure. Hey, would you want to try this?" Not once have I ever just, nope, I'm not going to do that. I've done whatever they've asked. I've been put on things, taken off things. I've detoxed myself in a hospital. You guys heard me talk about that before. When I say I'm at the end, we are literally, there's, they don't know what to do. And so we don't have the money. So a big win was when Utah passed medical marijuana. Well, that's all great and good because it's not federally looked at as approved. You have to pay in cash. You can't even hand them your own debit card. You come with cash. Well, in 1 month we dropped near $1,000. That it's not.
It's hard to be
This is
sustainable,
not, huh?
even if there's benefit. It's hard to sustain it.
Yeah, we cannot. It's just impossible to just keep going on. And so and you guys, if you're interested, you can go to the GoFundMe that might just even read about it.
Now, let me talk about that.
Well, I'm trying to just really quick say that I'm trying to preface it before anybody reads it, so you know why um, I chose lap bands for one of the best doctors in Utah because my body needs help. I'm trying to fight my pain, and that leaves no room for me to worry about. I can't even make a simple dinner. I can't even make a simple toast breakfast. Rex does that. That's just so that the meds don't eat my stomach. I can't worry about, even though I take so many supplements and I'm doing the best that I can and oils, and I only have so much energy and we only have so much money and my body needs help desperately. And if I, just even to stop or to help protect the bone deterioration. Um, so all doctors on board. It's just the insurance, was it? And so my cousin and his beautiful wife stepped up in such an incredibly selfless way, and it shares. We thought the best way to help people understand was my original letter that I sent to the insurance companies that's been sent 4 times, and we have been denied 4 times, and we are tired. We are tired. We are constantly in a fight over medications. They literally sent me 6 denial letters in less than a month. They took my Botox away. They took 3 of, well, we're confused on 2 of them, but they tried taking 3 of my major medications away. And then the surgery, and then there was something else. It's been a brutal month. Um, anyway,
So the
so that's just a little backstory on who created it, why it was created, and why you'll see Latvan. But go ahead.
this week somehow, unless I think it's just a complete mistake, but unless I don't know what I could have possibly have done, but all of a sudden I get this, multiple community violations I can't post. And so
Yeah,
I
so if anybody, real quick, if anybody has, if you've watched our lives or seen posts, if you have maybe an idea of what we could have possibly done to have multiple
don't know.
violations from TikTok,
Yeah,
will you
usually
please help us understand? Because,
oftentimes there's just an error and then you submit the
well,
report,
but
but
it's not okay
they
because they're not even responding to him.
haven't been very responsive. But the reason why I mentioned that, because that'll get sorted and it's only banned through the 21st,
Well,
but
that to me, see, he's half glass full of this. I'm very ticked at it
yeah,
because they're taking time away from us that's very precious, and the 21st isn't just like, hey, it'll be back in a couple days.
yeah.
He's been without it for about a week, and they have not responded. So we
And
don't even know what we violated.
one of the posts that I was trying to post
Oh
is
yeah.
I put a video together that includes a number of different slides of her letter. Because if you don't click into the link, the TikTok, I mean the link tree in my bio, which you see the various links. The first one is the GoFundMe. The second, some people like the Venmo. Um, there's even a link that goes directly to the American Chronic Pain Association for people that want to, you know, donate onto the donations page for that organization. And then, of course, our YouTube and things, right?
Which, let me explain real quick, too. Any personal, if anybody ever wanted to donate something personal to our Venmo, this is what it's going towards.
Yeah, so
Post,
we've had some
right?
people. There's actually at
There's
least,
just a few. So we have just a very small few donations, but that is going towards the postage to send the prizes every week. So if you feel so inclined to help with postage, that's great. If not, they're going to go out anyway because it's important to me to put a smile on your faces. And who, especially right now, as we half the bills we are all getting are medical related, rolling on in. Well, wouldn't it be a nice surprise to have a package mixed in with that? Of course. We all need that more. And so there's that. And by no means do not feel obligated at all to donate to the GoFundMe. I think sharing is more important now, um,
and
than anything.
the way that I got it posted, aside from what I was able to share and get on Facebook and Instagram, was Misty Marvin posted what I was able to post it through her.
Imperfectly perfect
Yeah, imperfectly perfect. So if you guys want to go and watch that post
and
as
reshare.
well as duet it and share it, um, and then if you are going to do that, which is a beautiful video, I was able to play around with an application and do some color with Nell. So there's some pictures in there, not only of her letter, but it kind of ties it into some pictures with Nell.
That's was the art is my life and color is the
Yeah,
joy.
yeah, she's an artist. And so that's where you could see the video since I haven't been able to post it. And then if you wanted to just mention to direct them to the link in my bio, that's how they can actually get to the GoFundMe. So
Or the Venmo just for it.
the
And you could
Venmo.
even literally mark personal for postage or I'm donating for the but I I don't think it's going to be far off that we start seeing companies start donating some really amazing things for you guys to benefit because you just stinking deserve it.
Yeah.
But until then, and Rex can attest to this, I've been saving for certain things, putting certain things aside for months and months and months. And I'm talking about the prizes, um, where I just have been saving. I'll buy a little one extra of something that's one of my favorite things, and then the next time I've got a little money, I'll buy another extra. And so we've got a box full of stuff that's just ready to be enjoyed by you guys. And so, um, and we've got enough money to get the first probably handful, right, of these prizes shipped off, just fine. But anyway, I hope that helps a little bit in understanding what you'll read in the GoFundMe. And so it's my letter to the insurance that was sent 4 different times. That's the bulk of the explanation in the GoFundMe. And the top part is just my cousin and his wife's message. But even if that wasn't looked at, you guys are, I, we're, you're, there's no way to describe the blessing that you guys are in our life. There's just not. So I think we need to spend the next 10, 15 minutes just talking about Krabbe and what it does to these little
Let's
bodies.
do it. Let's do it. So this is information that you can just find on mayoclinic.org. But I'm just going to read a little bit with that being the focus. Um, you know, an even better live would to have had the opportunity to have Weldon, my nephew, and his wife Kayla, um, and Taiten when he was alive, on a Zoom kind of a thing. But of course, we aren't in a position where we can do that. So this is kind of the next best thing. But when you take the idea that pain comes in many different forms, and we want to interview guests that talk about some of their life story and their specific condition, and we're really looking forward to that. So with this live kind of having Krabbe disease be the focus, let me just, if you could bear with me, just read even word for word on this site. And if you guys wanted to look into more detail, uh, this is just the source I happen to just be on Mayo Clinic.
And find out,
.org.
really quick, I'm going to say, find out if your state, I think the last state maybe to pass it was Louisiana or something like that. But find out if your state is one of the states that has passed the law that every newborn get this test before they leave the hospital. And if not, let's find out together what states have not, and we could start a petition. And because I can't think of a more worthy thing to do than to push for such an inexpensive, I believe it would be no cost or very little cost to the parents, um, that could possibly save your child's life.
All right, so here we go. So Krabbe disease is an inherited disorder that destroys the protective coating called myelin of nerve cells in the brain and throughout the nervous system. So in most cases, signs and symptoms of Krabbe disease develop in babies before 6 months of age, and the disease usually results in death by age 2. When it develops,
Taiten was really quick.
when it develops in other children and adults, the course of the disease can vary greatly, and there's no cure for Krabbe disease. And treatment
And
focuses
Taiten,
on
let me
supportive
quickly say,
care.
Taiten his birthday was in December, so he was 15 months.
Mhm. However, stem cell transplants have shown some success in infants who are treated before the onset of symptoms, and in some older children and adults. Krabbe disease affects about 1 in 100,000 people in the United States, and it's also known as globoid cell leukodystrophy. And in most cases, the signs and symptoms of Krabbe disease appear during the first 2 to 5 months of life, and they begin gradually and progressively worsen. Some of the common signs, I'm going to paraphrase some of this, you guys. Some of the common signs and symptoms are, uh, having difficulty feeding
Well,
them.
really quick, let's go back.
Mhm.
It both parents have to have this rare gene. Um,
Hmm.
and and so yeah, it's extremely rare, but they carry parents have to carry this certain gene, and I believe now they, like I said, if Taiten were to have received that test as a newborn, I believe he still would have been not only alive but had a good chance because they are a good chance at um, largely a full life because they are really, really spearheading this and working hard on creating new meds, new things you can try. And then, but I think they might be able to do testing because now any of these parents, I believe it's a 50-50 chance that you'll give another child the same thing. So
Hmm.
you could imagine the heartbreak and the impossible decision making of whether you continue to have a family or not. But I think
Yeah.
they're able to do testing that minimizes that. So that just kind of gives an idea of how it even comes about and how more of how it can be prevented. But
Well,
sorry,
and
go ahead.
a commonality between all these things that we're all kind of talking about, and that people maybe even that have joined and will be joining um, relate with, is we're ultimately talking about the nervous system.
Oh yeah, read on because this is why
You
him and
know,
I connected.
I mean, the nervous system obviously isn't seen, and there's a ton of different things that can go on,
Oh
with the
yes,
nervous system. So feeding difficulties, unexplained crying, extreme irritability, fever with no sign of infection, declines in alertness, delays in typical developmental milestones, muscle spasms, loss of head control, frequent vomiting, and then as it even progresses further, you've got seizures, loss of development abilities, progressive loss of hearing and sight, rigid, constricted muscles, stiff, fixed posture, progressive loss of ability to swallow and breathe, and we've
yeah.
seen these things.
This slowly. That's not even touching the enormity of the pain because is is it still going to talk about the how it literally takes the protective sheath barrier away from all the nerves. So
Uh,
this is a brutal, brutal diagnosis.
yeah, I mean, you basically just deteriorate, deteriorate,
But
deteriorate,
in
and they
great
try to
pain.
keep you comfortable.
In great pain.
Um, when Krabbe disease develops later in children and during adulthood, signs and symptoms can vary widely. They may include progressive loss of vision, difficulty walking, decline in thinking skills, loss of manual dexterity, muscle weakness. And I know that Weldon and Kayla aren't watching this right now. Our funeral is going to be,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow, but this is going to be put on YouTube, and I'll share it with them, and they'll watch it after. And I
They
just want,
have so appreciated everyone too.
what's that?
They've just, I know they're so appreciative.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want you to know, guys, as you watch this, and how we have not only dedicated a lot of this live um, to you, as if you guys could have been one of our guest speakers as we kick off kind of this guest speaker kind of dynamic. But how appropriate it is to as we carry on ongoing with him continuing to be part of Nell's dreams and legacy, but to have this be really kind of our first guest, if you will, in that sense,
Yeah.
because he sure is our hero, and like Nell
Yeah,
says, his wingman.
absolutely. Without a doubt, he's a hero. He's a
And
warrior. He's a leader among leaders.
we love you, and you guys have allowed for us to be in your home, and not everybody has had the opportunity to do that, and just be able to uh, give love just there in your front room, and you've been very open and open about sharing some of the pictures and things that you did, which actually you had approved for me, um, just right before his passing. And so I hope that um, not only the things that we have been able to hopefully do just directly more on a private setting, but the things that we're trying to do here publicly that will be recorded honors you and your family and Taiten and his sweet spirit that watches over us. So we really love you guys and we miss him so much.
So with that, I've started just I want to just ask, um, how your day is going. How are you today?
You mean Kayla?
Oh, I'm talking to everyone.
Oh, how is
Just
everybody doing?
just in
Yeah.
the chat. How are you? How are you doing today?
Yeah, let's do a
How are you
timeout for a
doing right
second because we've
now?
got a lot of people in here.
We'd love to know.
Yeah.
And if you're suffering, tell us.
Yeah, how was your week? How have things been going? Have you had any particular struggles that you wanted to just kind of share in the comments? Because it doesn't have to always just be, hey, we're presenting and we've got the
No.
guest and everybody's listening. We want it to be engaging.
Oh, yeah. I want it to be much less us talking and more
Hmm.
finding out about your lives and what's going on and how you're doing and holding up. And and I would love for people to feel so comfortable that they can say, I need prayers
Hmm.
and I'm going through this and I need someone to listen to me or I need whatever you need. Just type it in there and
Yeah,
let us know.
and maybe we just leave it there. That there's a lot of details about Krabbe disease, and you could continue reading on your own if you'd like. But I think that gives you a picture
Yeah, to
that the
sum
nervous
it up,
system,
it's brutal.
yeah, the nervous system, and what Nell is going through, and what lupus and even just major migraines shouldn't be diminished of what people go through, even if it's not like a CRPS nerve pain. The nervous system, even with OCD, if you learn, I have OCD and perfectionism, and when I was learning about myself, if that's okay, real quick, and then it, I remember learning that the serotonin, there was a reuptaking happening in the nerve cell synapse, and you have these nerve cells, and they've got this myelin sheath, right, that we're talking about, and so in Taiten's case, that myelin sheath was deteriorating or even gone, so that
Around all of his nerves.
around his nerves, so it wasn't protecting the nerves, and so his nervous system
So
gradually
the amount of pain
deteriorated. And
was, yeah,
but even with the case of my nervous system situation, you know,
yeah.
there's not the right amount of chemical, and so the chemical that I have prevents the reuptake of
Where are
that
you holding your fist?
because this represents the two
Oh, you're
nerves.
making that clear, right?
I remember, you
That
know,
it's in your
yeah,
brain.
this is one nerve, this is one nerve, and then there's a synapse. So anyway, the reason why I just mentioned that is I had to learn about what was going on with my own brain, and I've been able to find the reuptake so that you have that reuptake uh, not happening as much. Where in short, my brain chemistry is now more balanced, and coupled with me just being able to, whether that's therapy and challenging irrationality, really being influenced by Nell. As you can tell, she's got a good head on her shoulders. But it wasn't always a pretty picture, and we'll get into that maybe a little bit later. But she's gone through a lot with when I wasn't as healthy as I am
Oh
now,
yeah,
and
it's all every. Uh, you know, we were talking about caretakers. I think Andrea had brought that up. Well, she has a couple times. She's very, very compassionate and thinks so often about the caretakers, and that's another thing I would love for any of you that have caretakers that are willing to come on a Zoom call. Please
Oh
email
yeah,
us.
that's good.
And again, let me quickly say, any of you that want to come on a Zoom call and be a part of the live, please email us. I don't, there's, let us know what your condition is, your disease is, your pains are, whatever's going on, a life situation that you would like people to know more about. Please, that's
Yeah,
largely what that new email is for, and please use that. Eventually, we'll actually have a full website, um, but
yeah. That email is rex.nil@gmail.com.
yeah, and that's where you can get in contact with us and say, I want to talk.
Yeah, I
I
want
I
me and
want
my
to be a part
caretaker
of
on
this.
or whatever.
And if you're someone who thinks I don't want it to be about me, well, when we think that way, then we're leaving others isolated because I cannot tell you. So switch your thinking into thinking this could help someone.
Hmm.
And if this can help someone, then my story is absolutely worth it. And everything I've gone through is absolutely worth it. So we need to stop doing that because I've done that and this is one of the things Taiten taught me. Stop it. Stop thinking that, you know, there's a ton of negativity that goes through my head. I get really hard on myself, you know, but especially thinking, I don't want someone to think it's all about me or I'm selfish or
Hmm.
I want the limelight. No, it's it's so that others can say, "Oh my word, I understand that," or "There's someone else out there," or "I don't feel so alone today," or "I have more answers now," because maybe they've gone a little different route than I have with my care, and we're helping each other find doctors, find answers, find ways to get funding where it needs to go, find friends, find family. That's what it's about. So if you're thinking nobody
Hmm.
wants to hear this, no, I don't want to take up someone else's precious time, you're wrong. Reach out. Please let us know what you're dealing with, and I can guarantee you, no matter what you're going through, someone needs to hear it. Someone is out there ready and waiting to hear it.
Well, and even as I want to transition a little bit into some of what's Courtney's saying and planning for next week. But as we talk about Taiten Krabbe disease, and Kayla and Weldon, as you're watching this, if you want to come on, you know, later at a different time and talk about uh, things beyond what we're doing here to honor Taiten, I mean, you would be more than welcome. But we wanted to have today be a day that we for sure, paused and have that be part of this
Right.
week.
So next week, like we said, Courtney,
Courtney,
we're hoping um, the date next Thursday will work for her. But
yeah,
Courtney
she's
has
planning on it.
quite
She
an
says,
amazing story that the Zoom call last time. And that's another thing. We want to be able to give the time that you deserve. Um, and sometimes it will be a couple of you on that maybe have the same thing. But Rex and I, we like it to be kind of an interview. So you don't need to come thinking I've got to have it all presented.
yeah,
We would love to.
a stressful
We will
thing.
do our research. We will have questions, and then um, one of the games that I was thinking about, which you can show them part of this. This is our wheels have come, you guys. It's
This is
not
the
assembled yet, but
this is Nell kind of bringing in her excitement,
it's like
guys.
So I'll be able
You
to
can
write on
picture
this
it
wheel.
now.
So what one of the fun things I thought would be was when someone comes on and you have a question for them, I'm going to put that question in one of these segments on the wheel, right? And if we spin it and your question is one of the ones it lands on, you'll be one of those winners for the prize.
It's cool.
Um, and so that's a fun way to ask questions, you
Yeah,
know. And it can be overwhelming to come on and just say, okay, well, here's all about me, or what do you guys want
yeah.
to know? So,
Oh, that's a good idea.
yeah, we want you to know that when you come on, it will be very interactive. You won't just be put on display. It'll be a back and forth talk.
Yeah.
Um, and
So
and
Court,
yeah, go ahead.
so Courtney, you say, I'm having a rough pain day, but treatment is Monday, Tuesday. I should be getting much better Monday, Tuesday. Everyone needs help sometime. My husband and kids will be there next week.
Yay!
That's awesome.
She has an amazing husband and two sweetest little boys. But yeah, oh, that was one thing I want to talk about.
Hey, John. What's up, my friend?
Hi, John.
Thanks for joining, brother.
Um, we will have. I would love to have caretakers come and speak as well, because
Absolutely.
that's a whole other world.
It's
And
true.
with Rex, I've been the caretaker for Rex at one point in our marriage, and so
Yeah.
um, you know, we both know what that feels like to watch the other one suffer, and
The conflict that goes
yeah,
on
yeah,
inside.
we both know what it's like.
You know, it's interesting. I had a friend actually just call me, Angela from, I think it's either from Ireland or Scotland, and she was talking and she was wanting to make sure I was okay, as well. And then even talking with Camelin Morrison yesterday, good people have an interest
Hmm.
in obviously Nell and the kids, and then they also have the caretaker, and they're wanting to make sure that everybody's okay.
Well,
And
and
it's
because I was caretaker for Rex for, you know, some years in our marriage, and kind of I know what that's like. So whenever Rex has had the opportunity to, it's been harder for him to get out since COVID, obviously. But before that, if he wanted to go to a movie or he wanted to go,
guys
you
night
know, just
out or
yeah,
whatever.
I
Training for
never,
my
I've all,
Spartan.
I was always happy to let him be him. That is so important to let
Yeah,
him thrive
it's true.
while he does this. Because if we're not taking care of our caretakers, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Um, and and I yeah, his alone time and his hobbies and his, you know,
But I mentioned,
goals and everything are so important. We need to remember um, that. But some of you, it breaks my heart. But some of you are kind of largely doing some of this on your own,
yeah,
and
maybe
I
don't have as much
can't handle. Rex knows that. That just I can't. I can't hardly handle the thought.
if there are people that just they don't have a supportive,
Yeah, I can't. So then that's where
partner
we're hoping to
or
step
a
in.
partner at all.
And we have a group now that has so much love. This group is amazing. I'm gonna say I think we have the best followers, the best group ever
Yeah, we're kind of
already.
biased, you guys. We love you guys so much.
It's so because you just get life at a deep,
Seriously, all of you
deep
guys
level.
individually.
You get what surviving's about. You get what being an empath is. You get what compassionate is. You get what holding on is. You get what it's, you know, you just, it sure does teach you and humble you, doesn't it? So
Oh, fight,
thank
fight,
you.
win, and survive. She says,
Yes.
I'm all alone. It's devastating.
No, no, you're not. Not anymore.
So, yeah, yeah.
I am so, so, so sorry. See, this is where it gets me. I can't, I can't take
It's,
it. So that's what
it's,
I mean by you're not anymore. You're not gonna,
yeah. You are
whatever we
not.
can do, please. And use our email for that as well. If you want to just simply talk to us privately, we are here. And to me, that email is the most important
Yeah.
email that I've got. So, or that we have.
It's
So,
just it's a new email that we created, you guys,
just
just
for this.
for this. So we would love to see people learn about that, want to be a part of a Zoom live. If you guys haven't seen the setup that we have where we've got the TV
Yeah.
monitor, we have plans on having just one person and their family or whoever can fit in their
Or a couple people that might
picture.
have the same thing, so they can bounce off each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Um, but if you're alone and you just need to talk, and I'm sure, and then also, I'm going to say this because I've benefited from this greatly. I
Mhm.
have so many people that I've said before that I've watched over the years on YouTube that were brave enough to say, this is what I have, and this is what I suffer with, and they've shown the good, bad, and the ugly, and they have, because no matter how many people are around us, it's very isolating. Um, because sometimes we just can't explain it. There's no words. Or
Mhm.
we're tired of telling someone that it's not changed, or it's just as bad, or it's worse than ever, and we're tired of feeling like we're dragging other people down and taking their energy and zest away for life, for their life, And
Yeah, because you're aware.
one thing,
Oh,
oh,
sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
just so I don't forget, and Rex, we're always, I don't want ever you guys to think like we're fighting. He knows that the thought process in my head,
She'll forget.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
got to be
I'll
sensitive
forget
to that.
because I've got
You go
just,
first.
see, I don't know what it was.
Maybe I made you forget.
Um, oh, what I was gonna say is, you know, I've been blessed enough to get to know a lot of these creators, personally, and have messages go back and forth. But when they're not able to see my comment, or they're not able, that is nothing. I know that that's nothing personal. It's
No, I was just
okay.
following Fight, Win,
Nothing,
Survive. I was just following her.
nothing personal, or so what happens a lot of times is in the chat we start talking to each other and helping each other and forming relationships within the group. So whether it's reaching out to each other in the group, kind of while we're talking, while things are going on, while games are happening, while you guys take that opportunity to get to know each other as much as
Yeah,
you can, but always know that genuinely the invitation is open to
it's true.
drop a message in the live, drop a message on our YouTube, which hopefully we can get to 1,000, and certainly use our email and reach out. Um, but but if you just are having a day or a week where you feel like, hey, I need some extra prayers, like with Courtney not feeling,
Yeah,
just having a couple of rough days and having some treatment done, you absolutely be in our prayers, Courtney. And if you're not ready to do yours on Thursday, that is not a problem at all. Let us
she's
know.
planning.
Um,
Yeah,
well, I know how planning it and then life happens
yeah,
is.
yeah.
So
Everybody
just let us
understands
know.
that we have to kind of adapt
That's
because sometimes
Yep,
you're
yep.
not
That's what I was gonna
up to
say.
it, an hour before.
Okay, so I was gonna touch on, even if it's just down to the wire and you're just like because I know people have been frustrated with me sometimes in the past, and
Hmm.
I think they get the wrong idea. I think too often we judge someone when we're like, wow, wait or wait until the last minute. Well, we have to. That's how our life is, and we we're trying. For me, it takes me all day to like I do something, then I have to lay down and I have to let the fever calm down with a million fans on me, or and and then the meds are a whole different thing. I have to like make sure I have enough meds, especially now since insurance doesn't like me for whatever reason. Um, and I'm trying all day to get to something I never ever commit to something anymore. I will
Mm.
never commit to something anymore other than this because I got so tired of hurting people. And then what happens is they think, "What? You're just now telling me that you can't?" Well, little did you know, I've been working all day long to get to be ready enough for you to where I'm not showing up and really messing up the whole event because everybody can see that I'm not well and they're worried because that's what's happened in the past, especially you know with my mom and dad. They're just their hearts are just their hearts just break.
Well, and that's part of the awareness effort is to help people that have, even if you're not a caretaker, what are the ways that you can adapt what you might think are social norms to where in that example that you gave, you might have someone react to that and think, "God, that was,
That was rude
rude. How
because
inconsiderate."
normally with a healthy person that would be rude.
Yeah, but
Well, with us, so what I was going to finish saying is like I could be going throughout the day and thinking, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And an hour before, it is just like I'm. It's not only I can't be. It's worse than just even a couple hours ago. And not only is it not personal, it actually is so bad on our health because of how badly we beat ourselves up. How, don't worry, you do not need to tell us we're rude or any other thing. We've already beat you to it. Okay? We're already telling ourselves we're worthless, we can't do anything. What I can't achieve any great thing anymore. I can't even achieve a simple little get together. I can't achieve making a meal for my kids, my husband. I can't achieve even the smallest little things. Don't worry, we beat you to it. We're harder on ourselves than you, times 100. But you've got to start understanding if you know someone, especially closely, we are not trying to stick it to you. We're not selfish. We are not lazy. We are anything but. And if we're telling you last minute, that's because we've been working all day until the last minute. We've been hoping and praying and working all day to be there for you until the last minute.
yeah.
It's actually the complete opposite. So yeah, that's a huge one. Um, I've been judged harshly by some people, some that aren't in my life anymore. They're just not. That it just. It's like if you have this, this doesn't fit in with my world.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
yeah. Well, and the beautiful thing that I love about talking about all these things, you guys, is that so often what you get when people come into your life is the common question of, "How are you doing?
Oh,
Are
I
you
hate
okay?"
that.
And there are some things where both in the context of the person going through it, the caregiver, the caregiver or the spouse or the kids, the honest answer, even if it's a quick honest answer, is yes and no. There are some things that we're all not okay with. And then there are some things that we are okay with and we are so grateful for and we
I think
recognize that
that,
we are so blessed.
yeah, and I think in America we're the worst at it.
Hmm.
We're so, um, I know some friends the UK even commented on it. In America, we're much less honest, and we're all our famous phrase to say is "Fine, how are you?" And a lot of wait,
Or
but
if we,
especially with chronic pain and when someone's truly asking, "How are you feeling?" I can't stand making someone else sad or making someone worry. So you'll see if you go to my GoFundMe, my cousin's wife says, and whenever she's asked how she's doing, she never answers. I stopped answering because I it pains me to not be okay. I need to be okay for people. I need,
Mhm.
but I'm really not. But I don't want to say it because then what? Then they're obligated to say something back or feel
Yeah,
obligated,
it's
And
complicated.
so my if I am going to give a response, and this the truest thing that I could say to people now, and that I've had for the past several years, is when they ask how I am, I say I'm very blessed because I want
Hmm.
to say something that is pure truth, but I don't want to get stuck on,
Yeah,
hey, today's been really,
it's
really bad, and I feel I haven't moved from my bed for a few days, or
yeah. Oh dear.
um, but I can say always I'm very blessed. But the people closest to me obviously can read past that, and they know what that means. That
Yeah.
they know it means I don't really want to go there.
And
So
so, and I think that because there's a disconnect between people going through this, as well as even people close in their life, like caretakers, children, even, let alone extended family and friends and so forth. There's a disconnect in what that simple
can you turn that light a little bit? It's hurting my eyes.
little of it away from you.
Yeah, thank you.
There's a disconnect
So I can see the mess.
with what that interaction looks like, and there's a default behavior that I think I've seen happen when people don't pause and kind of spend time adapting to what that skill set and coping is so that the interaction with people that are going through that can be less awkward or be less comfortable. And so when they don't do that, they just avoid that. They might just avoid, they don't
Yeah,
know how to act.
one of the lives I'm most excited to do, and I'll be reaching out to a lot of you to get your answers because I want a compilation
Mhm.
of answers that I want to do. How can you help? How can you be present? How can you create a positive dialogue? How can you be there without being there
Yeah,
physically? Because a lot of
yeah,
us,
I
quite
love that.
frankly, I'm going to say it straightforward. I don't want you here, right next to me.
Yeah, I love
That
it.
is the harshest I've ever said that. I don't want you next to me in my bed while I'm trying to breathe through something, and
Yeah,
I'm literally feel like I'm boiling inside, and it's showing on the outside, and I'm swollen, and I'm burning up like a furnace, and I don't know what to say or do. And then
yeah,
if you're here and you're here worried, then it's going to cause me to cry, and crying really is one of the worst things I can do for my pain. And then what you're going to want to do is, oh my gosh, I see you haven't cleaned for a little minute. And no, I'm someone who I need to know what, you know, um, I will dink around in the middle of the night if I find 2 hours where I'm feeling good. Rex knows this. Whatever, it does not matter what time of day. I will stop what I'm doing if I feel well enough. I'm doing little things. That's important for me
3 in the morning, four in the
to
morning.
feel like I'm still useful.
Yeah,
And people get offended and hurt and they don't understand. And I get that there's a give and take, right? I get I just am I just and I used to Rex can attest to this 1,000,000%. I was so good at being there for others and giving them what they needed that they were shocked when they heard I had a condition as hard as I did
Hmm.
because I hid it and held it in for them. And
Oh, they,
I
yeah.
will tell you right
And you
now,
did that for a while until you just could not do
years.
that anymore.
There were a few get-togethers that I went straight from the get-together to the ER. That is how much pain I was holding inside with a smile and having a conversation and laughing. And then I'd go to the ER and I would just be out of my mind in pain.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's not fair for society. I think we can all do better. And
well, we're going to
you
help
guys, yeah,
you understand because there's one part of it where there's a true misunderstanding. But if you know someone has a chronic condition, what? It's not hard to put a note on the door. It's not hard to leave the tedious little, my word, I don't know, a
thinking of
dollar
you,
gift. I'm like,
card and
hey,
cookies,
I'm just
just a little,
thinking of you. Yeah.
yeah,
And I know I read up a little bit. How about that? How about saying in your note, I read up a little bit on the condition I know you have, and it says this, this, and this. And so I'm so sorry if you're going through that. And so we're going to get into more of this, and I can't. This is one of the biggest things. But I, and for me also, there have been people that have been very confused and very upset at me because I won't talk to them on the phone. Now, it doesn't
amen.
matter.
Someone's saying amen,
It doesn't matter that my
not
doctor,
someone.
yes,
Fight
amen.
Wayne survive.
It doesn't matter that my doctor, who has taken 3 very ugly tumors out of my head, has said that is the last thing you need next to where those tumors are growing. It doesn't matter that I might be in pain. It doesn't matter that it's really hard, even on speakerphone, to hear each other. It's harder that way. We all know that. It doesn't matter if putting the earbud in my ear because it's connected right there by my nerves. I've been literally judged so harshly. And I've had people say, but that's how I communicate.
Hmm.
And I've not communicated with them because that just doesn't fit in their world.
Because it doesn't
And
fit.
or
Yeah,
because I don't know how to do messenger. I don't know how to text. Well, you have a pen and paper.
I'm sure you guys can
Or people don't come over anymore
relate with
because you
this.
don't
This
invite
is
them in.
Nell's
Well,
just
hell, guess what?
saying
You might want to
what
think
I'm sure
that
you
I'm
guys
up
have
in
gone
my
through.
bed, and that's probably a little more important than inviting you in. You can obviously hear passion and frustration, but I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. There's more that can be done. There's more that I shouldn't have to tell you, especially if you're close to me. You know that I'm anybody close to me should know I'm in bed. I have CRPS, among other things, and you go look up what it does to somebody. You
Hmm.
go find out what's going on. You reach out to me and ask in the ways that I can communicate. I've been very, very open. I'm someone that if you ask me something, I'm not, I'm just so open. So I'm going to let you know the best way for you to communicate with me. Well, don't ask me if you're not prepared to
To
hear the
really know.
answer because I
Yeah.
don't care what your excuse is. I promise you that I have more of a reason not to put this phone to my head than your excuse for not texting, messaging, writing, whatever. I promise you. So, and there's millions of people that get this, understand this, but it's time that the ignorance and the bullshit stops.
You know, there's two words that I think we underestimate the importance of in life, of what really love can kind of be defined by. And that includes decisions that are associated with a willingness to adapt
Yes.
and sacrifice.
If
Because
you,
because the truth is, doesn't matter how good of a person you are, there's a part of you that wants what you want, how you want it,
yep,
what you want it, and there's a part of you that doesn't want to give up anything, and there's a
right.
part of you that doesn't want to change.
And I'm
That's
gonna
the truth.
address uh, because now I'm kind of gone down this road, and quite frankly, I'm too tired to continue to try to hide what I'm going through for your benefit. So I'm going to talk about organizations such as churches or the groups within.
Mhm.
They can be some of the most Christ-like serving people, and I'm not going to pinpoint any church or any certain organization or any certain group, but quite frankly, I have been largely, with the exception of a handful of people, left in the dust. You don't fit in. I'm supposed to be able to come to your home and preach to you. Well, I'm sorry. That's not now if you this has happened several occasions. Can I come to your home? No. Can I come to your home? No, I can't. And then I'll have Rick start answering them. Um, but I have a message for you. Well, then tell me the message over the message. Or I want to share Christ with you. Well, I'm pretty sure I have my relationship with Christ. Thank you. But how about how about and this is what I do for everyone. It's equal. I want to get to know you. Are you willing to come into my space and get to know me the way that I can? This isn't about a choice anymore for me. The way that I can do it, and I desperately want to know you, can you come meet me halfway? And there has been plenty, mostly women, that have been like, nah, no, bye, sorry. And they've actually been offended that
Didn't adapt to them or something.
that I said this is how it works for me. It doesn't matter how softly I said it. Doesn't matter Christ like I've said it. Doesn't matter how carefully I approached it. And it's disgusting behavior. And I'm tired of being somebody that enables it because you and your comfort.
We don't look the part, Courtney says.
Yeah, well, that's gonna no. I'm done with that too, and I'm also done with the whole. We, as far as the chronic pain, physical pain community, we have to constantly prove and reprove and reprove and reprove that we're not drug addicts. Now, I'm not throwing any shade on anybody that's had an addiction
Mm.
because behind that is pain.
Yeah.
But come on now. When you have seen my 15-year history and you've seen this woman is not afraid of anything that the doctors have asked her to do, any procedure, surgery, whatever, shots, Botox, stabbing herself all over the body to get that. It doesn't. She's tried everything. Come on, it, it it's just enough.
Yeah.
There's screening people, and then there's not not being the best doctor that you can be, or not being the best professional that you can be, and lumping us all in together.
Well, it's a form of discrimination. It's
It
like
1,000% is, and
because
I am tired of it.
it's the
I'm
same kind of
so
a
tired of
thing.
it.
You can liken the same kind of a thing in what human nature and the fallible nature that we have is that to varying degrees, you've got people that will lump minorities into crime
Right.
when we all know
Or
that
let's.
white people also have crime and this kind of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But like with mental illness too, I don't know how many people I've heard say like, but that's dangerous or that's well, hell. When you have the perfect answer, you let me know. I'm so sorry that you don't want me to be on this medication. Why don't we switch our bodies? You feel what it's like for me to live a day in my life, then come back and judge me on what I'm trying to do
Safely
so I can
and
be
what you're, yeah.
responsibly, safely, with a professional, a doctor that's behind me. Come on! This is where I get upset. Even that the Chronic Pain Association of America is, it's, there's so many things that are getting funded enormously. But yet, one of the biggest chronic pain, and I'm talking again about physical pain, chronic pain, is bigger than cancer and diabetes combined. Now, I get that it's hard to shift who's looking for drugs to a certain point, but I've also known and seen people that have abused the system, and to me, they're pretty easily seen. I don't get it. I just, it's just, it's a sensitivity for me because I have literally pretty much been called a drug addict by a, a pain center
And it hasn't,
physio,
we've
and
been fortunate.
it was one. Oh no,
We've been fortunate to work with some
oh no,
good
no, no.
people.
I will say most of my doctors have been angels and heaven sent.
And that's
I'm talking about
sometimes rare
a
for people,
minority for me.
Yeah.
Very, very. I had one doctor that basically looked at me and was like, "You're just drug hopping. Remember drug?"
I think he said,
And
I
kicked
was
us out of his
shocked.
office. I was so humiliated and I was so depleted and I had nothing left. And that was after I had detoxed myself. That's another thing they can see that I've done, that I've always included in my records. Yeah, I'm someone that, I walked into a hospital, was locked behind four doors and a locked elevator for a week, detoxed myself, and I'm someone that's just looking for drugs. No, what happened was when I went home, I was off of everything. Holy shit, did I suffer for weeks and weeks
Because
without
it's not the
any
solution to
medication.
just get
Yep.
off
No.
everything.
So
And then,
then the
then what do you do
doctors
with
were
the
like,
pain?
"Oh, they were reminded that I actually had pain, that needed to be treated." And so we very carefully chose another plan again, and I went through more procedures and blah, 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 blah. Quite frankly, we need to be more than just a name on your appointment book or just a time slot in your life.
Yeah.
Um, and like Rex said, I will say again, I have been so fortunate for the large part, even getting an endoscopy done and stuff. The doctor looked at my, um, he's amazing. He looked at my, I happened to be burning up my face, arms, everything, just burning up and swelling. And he looked at me, and he wasn't even a doctor that had anything to do with, but he was like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "What? It was before I was diagnosed with CRPS," and he said, "Do you mind if I
Because
run
your
some
skin
tests?"
was
Oh, and it swells up.
inflaming
It
red
swells
just
up
right there in
too.
front of him.
Yeah, and where my nerves are around my eye, there's one nerve that goes right to the temple, my temple, and you'll see a red track line, like it's a just a red little highway goes straight to my hairline, and it will swell up by itself. By
And
itself,
we
you should know. Someone should know. Okay, that's not normal. And if I say, yeah, that's where my nerves have been cut 3 times majorly, then shut your mouth and just kind of
and that's when
maybe trust me a little
we
bit.
didn't we didn't know CRPS, and we're
No,
like,
I was
okay, you've
saying
had the
that's why he
tumors
said,
removed.
"Do you mind if I?" He said, "Do you mind if I do some tests?" He ordered so many tests that phlebotomist after nurse hadn't heard of a couple of them. Then I had to go to the hospital because that's where some of these tests they even knew what they were about. But even when we went to the hospital, Remember, Rex? They were like, we've never ever heard of this test being ordered. One of them was called the VIP test. And then he sent me straight into CT scan. Again, this was not my regular team of doctors.
Hmm.
This was a doctor that was like just, and they're out there. They are out there, and they're amazing. And we're so fortunate when we get connected with them, right? And then we want to hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
I remember a couple of
Well,
them had to leave um, um, the building that I was meeting them in, and the panic that sets in. But like we've said, I've been very very fortunate for the most part to have doctors that I consider my angels. Not just that, our pharmacist. He has
they help make
he has
a big
personally
difference.
done so much, and it says something when they know Rex's voice, they know my birth date, they know my one sweet girl when we drove up because I'm never out. I was in the car. What did she say? She was like, "Is
She's
that
like
Nell?"
something like, "Oh, you're Nell?
She's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm
It's
so
the famous
so
Nell."
yeah, I'm so excited to meet you. We only ever hear about you, you know.
Yeah,
But like people like that, but it's too. We've got to have. There's people that are compensating that do compensate for all the kind of lack of care and people just busily going on about their lives. Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you right now, if you're somebody that's busy in your life, you're busy with your job and your family and whatever, count your blessings. Count your blessings. What I would give to work again. What I would give to like physically work in the dirt, to go into a building and work a desk job, to do damn near anything. Um, if your body is working at a fairly healthy level and you're functioning, count your blessings because it can be taken away in an instant. And I promise you, it is brutal. And it is. We live in a world that just isn't. We're just not yet at a place where people
Ne-
are selfless enough to. Go ahead, because I know you're reading something.
no, Natalie's joined, and she's a new follower. Natalie Stevens followed you, Natalie.
Hi,
She says,
Natalie.
she says, I've got good doctors and my pharmacy has been good, but I have had some bad encounters before. I'm
Yeah.
enraged by people who have messed the system up for people like us who need the compassion
Yep.
and medicine. And I would do anything to work again. I miss the social interaction.
Yeah. See what I mean? We
Well,
would.
welcome
Yes,
to this
welcome.
group. I've just followed you. Guys, go follow our new friend Natalie. You are welcome here, Natalie. We go live generally about every uh, Thursday, and
Yeah. Every
follow each
Thursday,
other
but
and
we're gonna try to
engage
get
because there's
to.
some people.
We're gonna try to do Thursdays on TikTok, and then once we get 1,000 subs on YouTube, we're gonna try to do a live again there on the weekend.
Mhm.
So 2 lives is our goal a week, and 2 prizes that get sent out a week.
But one of the things that warms my heart, even if I know that this is happening and can't see it, I'll always remember you if I could put you on the spot, Laurel. Laurel Lingle. She was one that right before we went live last time was able to get on with the Zoom call, and she was one of the ones that was talking about how she felt like she was gaining some new friends.
Yeah,
You
I
want to
love
talk about warm my heart?
I know.
Um,
It's
when
so
someone's going through
yeah.
what even me living with Nell can't imagine,
That
and you feel like that you are meeting some people that are like you,
yes. So this
maybe
is
even for
where
the
I
first
want to say
time.
this
I
as you just
I
brought that
can't.
up. We do need to have number one. There's 2 things I want to say because it is we've all, I think, felt just outraged at how we've been treated at times.
Mhm.
But I do want to touch on and get the perspective of even the closest people to us, there's no way they can understand. That's why when we get together as a community and and I get the great honor of understanding where your guys' pain there comes from, there is a instant family. Because no one else will understand me like someone else with a chronic condition that causes them great pain and
Oh,
great suffering. No one. Rex can't. Rex can only go so far with me. He can only walk so far with me.
yeah.
My children can only walk so far with me. My parents, my siblings, my friends, they can only walk so far with me. You
Courtney,
guys can walk further with me because although we don't feel exactly what we all have, some different symptoms or different grades of a certain symptom, we still get it and get each other.
Courtney
It's
says
Go ahead.
me and Laura check on each other all the time.
I love that.
That's what we want.
Absolutely love that. That's what it's about. But also, I wanted to say really quick. I think it's fair for us to have these family members on and to have caretakers on and get their perspective and how it's difficult for them. But also, I'm even going to go further. It is so difficult to have to feel like you are, am I worthy? Have I proved myself again
Oh
to get my
yeah,
meds? And,
yeah.
and do you trust that I'm not? Because Rex started asking me like, I guess we'll get into this later. Rex even had questions for me just a few months ago. We've been married 25 years, and he had new questions for me that he didn't know about me.
Well, and
Wait, I'll lose my trail.
mhm.
Um, ah,
I had
you have.
questions. Sorry,
Oh,
I had
no,
questions for you for the first
I
time.
know. Yeah, yeah. It was, but it was done without a questioning tone. So that's another thing. If
Yeah,
you're ever going to question someone in pain, you better watch your tone and you better watch how you're saying it. Because believe me, we've been put through the ringer and you're going to need to be gentle and you're going to need to be
yeah.
reassuring the
Compassionate.
whole time that I am not questioning you in the least. You have you deserve every ounce of trust that I can give you and anyone else. But I want to address also there's a whole different world of pain right out there that has caused this pandemic of addiction and which unfortunately has not just creeped into our world, it's blown it apart for some of us.
Yeah, it's
And it's made our world so much more difficult.
a lot of it
But
is us
remember that
being
they are,
failed.
huh?
Quite frankly, a lot of it is us being failed by experts and professionals and
Well, it's true,
drug
but you
industries and
remember
things.
that anyone with addiction, they have their own pain and suffering. And so I don't want to just judge them as a whole. Where are you going?
My leg
Um,
gets asleep. Talk about
oh,
nervous
I
system.
don't, so it would be,
You don't want to judge as a whole.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I even get that, sometimes some of the meds we can get that we're put on, our brains don't know any different. Um, but guess what? I can't worry about that. Because I went through counseling after I detoxed and I had an amazing counselor, but she really did an amazing job showing what happens to my brain under certain meds that I have no control over. And then your brain gets used to it, and your brain can cause things to,
Well, sometimes there could be a chemical. There may be an inevitable chemical dependency on people that are just having to take medicines
well, I
for
want to be
pain,
careful
but
about
that's
saying
different
that
than addiction and all
to
this kind of.
people like me
What's
because
that?
no, but I want. you're right, but I want to be careful in how we say that to
Yeah,
people with
it's
chronic pain because this is how I feel.
mhm.
I don't care. When you have the magic medicine that
When
takes
you
it all away with no side effects, and my brain's like, whoo, I have a break. I don't, there ain't no
yeah,
dependency here. I'm not trying to get more. What? And that's not, I don't even feel the meds that way. That was one of the questions Rex asked me. He said, and I'm not going to talk about specific meds, but he asked me, does anything make you feel like you're on a high? No.
like a
I
pleasure.
have
Like, are
so
you
much pain
feeling good because you take it? Yeah.
because when I take my meds, there's something for it to do. It's trying to calm the nerves down. So for me, the best thing, my high is for my body to go quiet for a minute. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
there's just it doesn't, and and everybody has different reactions to different meds. We are all so different that way. For me, and then just about every one of my meds anyway has nothing to do with addiction or anything. The thing I have to watch for the most is a lot of my medications affect the serotonin, but
Mhm.
I need enough of them that they're always careful to tell me to watch for serotonin syndrome, which is basically serotonin poisoning your brain. That's the most dangerous thing for me. Um, but no, I don't. The biggest high I've ever been on was when they first started me on medical marijuana, and I'll say it again, that was not fun. There were funny moments where things I was saying and stuff, Rex and my daughter were just like, you know, like I was frying my face on his stomach. I thought I was an egg and he was the pan. We don't know.
Oh, you're talking about
When
when
I
you tried
first
the
took the
medical
medical
marijuana for the
marijuana,
first time and had the
yeah,
THC off?
yes,
Yeah,
that 8 to 10 hour
that was
high,
fun.
and Rex just kept going, just ride it through, babe, ride
Yeah,
it through.
space and time, space and
No, I
time.
guess they kept repeating time and space, time and space.
Yeah, that was weird. That
I'll
only
never
happened
forget his
once.
face though, you guys. This is the best thing ever. I was seeing, I was experiencing these amazing spirits were circling my room. They were just flying about, and I was just like watching them go in circles. And Rex is looking at me like, "What in the hell are you?" And then I look up to see where the hell they're coming from, and there's this big portal in the ceiling that happened to be just almost above, just almost right above Rex's head. And Rex says, "What are you looking at? Can't you?" And I say, "Can't you see them?
Well, it's an,
They're coming in." I said,
I mean, this is an example where obviously the intent of medical marijuana is
yeah,
to get the balance. Even with that,
we had
you
the
know,
balance
people aren't
off, and
trying to get
then
high,
yeah, no, I that was not fun to me.
and
But there were
we
funny
figured it out
moments.
where we dropped down the
Yeah, I need it,
THC and
but then
this,
it now doesn't work very well
but
for my pain.
basically for that one time, she got
So
high
he says, "What are you
on an
looking at?
accident.
What are you?" And I said, "Well, can't you see them? They're just flying." And I was so happy for them. They seemed really happy. And he said,
Good
What
thing
do you
that's
mean?
not.
Where are they coming? Where are they coming?" And I said, "They're coming in just right there." And it was kind of right above his head and his face.
Yeah, talk
His
about.
face was like, "Excuse me?
Are we sure this
What are we?
medical marijuana
What's
might
happening above my
be a
head?"
good? Yeah.
He might have scooted over a little. He might have scooted over a little bit to get out of the way of the portal.
Let me take away that medical marijuana plan B.
He just kept saying right through time and space.
Well,
But
it's interesting whether or not it's medical marijuana and the
or
balance of the
whatever it
THC and
is.
the what is it, the CBD,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whether it's
Oh,
trying the different medications that the doctors are trying to
yeah,
do in good faith and trying to avoid some of these risks and
yeah.
things.
And
I'm
we got
sure
to
that you guys
remember,
all
it's
have
hard. It is hard on the
your
doctors.
own story that it's complicated and it's
It
not
is.
something that you want to talk about a conversation. It's one thing to just talk about in the course of 5 to 10 minutes of I'm not okay with everything. These are things that I'm not okay with, but that doesn't mean that I'm think my life is hell,
Yeah,
versus
yeah, absolutely.
let's talk and get into the trenches of some very
Well, we got to break some
sensitive
stigmas. I'm
and
tired of it. We've
what's
got to,
that?
we've got to, we've got to make headway on
Yeah,
stigmas. We've got to
yeah,
make headway
exactly.
on how people view us and react to us.
Yeah,
We have to make headway. It's just ridiculous.
yeah.
It's, you know,
And
and
we're part, whether or not the industry in whole acknowledges it. And I don't like to use the analogy of like, lab rats kind of a thing, because it's not anything that's that raw. I mean, there's technically science and people that are, good people that are
of
really
course,
putting it, but we are part of a huge pioneering effort of leading things to where in the future there should be a lot more refinement and better care with people that are dealing with
and a
chronic,
true understanding. And this is one of the
you
things
know,
I would love to see happen because there's not very many people that go into a hospital, get locked behind several doors. I got strip searched. That traumatized me for the rest of my life. And they didn't even warn me. They did not warn me. I got treated like everyone else in there. Um, but I got strip searched. Man, we bought me some cute pajamas too the day before. I thought I'm gonna go in, at least I'll look and feel cute. No, well, I didn't look cute. I looked hammered as hell because they had me on a lot of hardcore stuff.
and you went
That
in because you just
I
needed to
went
get
in
a
because I
clean
couldn't.
out and figure out
Yes, that
what
was
was
my
making
decision.
things worse.
So they never have someone just walk in and say, "Please clean me of the prescription drugs my doctor's ordered." That doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
So, but it still shocked me to hear these heavy doors just lock, and then you go through another set, and they unlock the elevator. Even the elevator's locked, and then you go behind another set of doors that are locked, and you're in this room where they check on you with flashlights every few hours at night. You have no bathroom door. You have a curtain that's, quite frankly, I thought the curtain was bad enough, but there's at least like a foot and a half, maybe even 2 feet, at the bottom of the curtain where it's cut off, so they could always, at all times, see your feet, your legs. Now, for good reason. There's absolutely suicide attempts that happen in there. I understood it all. I just was shocked that there was no. When you get put in there, you just get. And then top it off, I had to share a floor with geriatrics. Now, God love them. Like, they are amazing older people, and they made us laugh a lot, but that added for a little bit more difficulty with what we were going through.
You were
So
just kind
they
of
put.
mixed in
So I'm getting to.
with
There's
a lot of
too
different.
much. There was too much mixed in. So when we would do group several times a day, my group, I
Hey,
lived
girly
with
dog.
them morning till night. We did everything during the day together, and again, angels on earth. Angels on earth. This is why I'm so sensitive to people that have addictions because we can't forget that they're the whole reason for most of them. It started because of pain, pain they wanted to numb, of great pain that we don't understand. So, but having them look in damn near every part of your body, making sure you're not bringing meds in. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Remember how I just walked in myself? That didn't matter. Took the wires out of my bra, cut my stinking cute pajamas I just got. I'm like, those were literally, I bought those pajamas because the cute ties on them. And yeah, I was a little shocked. Um, and then they made a mistake and completely forgot about my I left my luggage because they go through all your luggage, and it was took hours and hours to get my luggage, and that was my only thing that I could like, because I had pictures of my family, and that was the only thing that made me feel anything that I had anything to do with home. The smell of things that, and
Hmm.
by the time my luggage came up, they had taken half my stuff out, and then we had shelving. Um, you don't get doors on anything. Um, and I remember sobbing so hard because and I begged him for a phone call, and you have to make the phone call right across any phone calls right by the nurse's station, of course, again, so they know what you're talking about. And but that was difficult, as you have again geriatrics wandering around, and they want to talk to you or pinch you or and so and then while I was actively coming off some major, they had me on so much. I do not know how my body lived through what they had me on. But they didn't know what else to do. They were panicking. So here I call Rex, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. It had been maybe 5 hours. I was in there, 5, 6 hours. I'm like, I'm done. I'm not okay because that quick. My body started detoxing, and they made the mistake of not sending my stuff up, like I said. And Rex and one of my best friends was on the phone, and they called my doctor's office, and they were like, if you take her home now, and she's already started this detox process, she has a high chance of not making it through the night. Because, you know, obviously there's no meds. They give you safe meds to come off of these things, and they're constantly checking your vitals. We got our vitals checked a few times a day. Didn't matter if you were in group, wherever you were, they'd find you. I also, right in the middle of that, had mono. They found out I had mono that same week, so that was not pleasant. But
What about Courtney talks about she's tired of being seen as lazy?
yeah, yeah. It's literally anything but. You cannot get when I have so much respect for people that just physically and mentally, but also, and we've talked about this before, mental conditions can cause physical, and physical does come with mental, period, because it's just so hard. But to me, it's an absolute honor and pleasure to know because the term warrior has been used so much lately. I always try to like veer away from things that have been used overused because then it loses its preciousness to me. But that's all I can think of right now. There's no to stay alive, to keep on breathing, to go through another and another and another, sometimes several things in one day. Okay, so maybe let's let's talk about the pain and then what's going on mentally, and then lack of sleep, and um, then your stomach gets messed up because of your meds, or maybe your stomach and digestive system's messed up because that's just a part of what you have, like I have, like me. Um, um, and that's just a few things to throw out there, and then it accumulates. You never get on top of it. That's funny. That's laughable to me. Who else do you know is stronger? Excuse me? Literally the opposite of lazy. Literally, you cannot be more polar opposite of lazy.
Yeah,
So don't ever,
you're
ever let
putting in
yourself.
major
Oh my word!
major work to trying to maintain sanity, balance,
Yes.
health,
And
relationships.
remember, even when, so I'm going to explain a little bit about when I sleep, because today this happened. Well, this whole week, my sleep has been horrendous. My sleep's horrendous anyway. My body will go to sleep when I'm finally um, either out of pain enough to where I'm just like, okay, my body just, or if it's a really, really bad flare up that's lasted for days, my body literally will do kind of a passing out thing. Does that stop the pain? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So all this week, every time I've gone to sleep, I, and it shows up in different scenarios, but they're all centered around the same thing. Frustration. I can't get out of this. I can't make it stop. It hurts. And that's me, my body actively being in pain while I'm sleeping. So I never get rest. One thing we kind of joke about, and not so much anymore after my adrenals failed because surgery's very serious.
Hey Mason,
Surgery's very, hey bud,
my son's
very
in here.
serious anyway at all times. But it became really real when I almost died after my second tumor removal and my adrenals zeroed out. So I'm not supposed to ever have a same day surgery again, ever, because they have to make sure my
Love you, bud.
adrenals are holding. And I don't know if you guys don't know about adrenals, they provide life in just as much as your heart and lungs. It's just more chemical side of things. So when they're done and they can't fix that, you're done. So they're frantically trying to fix that for a week in the hospital. But before we'd kind of joke and say, is there something else before?
No, go ahead. I'm just
Before we'd kind of joke and be like, well, hell, at least I'll get some kind of sleep. You know, they're going to have to put me out for me to get it, but, 45 minutes of sleep coming up, because it's just, we're not, a large amount of us, if not all chronic pain sufferers, don't get rest. We don't get true rest. And
hmm
so, can you imagine? And then you start another day, and you haven't gotten rest, but you're start another day, and just being human, the very basics, okay? Using the restroom, brushing your teeth, just being human, that takes a toll. Now add on, oh, well, hell, I still have my condition. And just so happens, this, and this is screaming at me all at once, whether it's your nerves or your intestines or your, um, things going on in your brain or, your body burning up or swelling or whatever. So not only do we don't just, it's bad enough not to get sleep, real true restful sleep, and then try to get up and just do human normal things. But then we gotta get up and fight the hardest fight ever. And then we don't get sleep. And then we gotta fight the hardest fight ever. And it is the worst will, endless will of hell. It is the worst endless will of hell. And
you can
we
walk though.
somehow,
Yeah, someone asked
huh?
Natalie asked if you can walk. Yeah,
what,
because
what, what
she
can
says I
do?
she says I wake up every 2 hours because the stiffness causes more pain. I fell asleep and fell and smashed her head. So, but you can walk. You get up out of bed and things.
Yeah, but I can't. So part of the reason my body is slowly, and I was always very active, love life, love to serve, love to, my, because for me,
Mhm.
When I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, it's just the screen. Go ahead.
Well, I don't want to. Are you trying to find a comment? So
No,
I
I'm
don't want
just.
to interrupt that.
Go ahead. No, you're good. Yeah, no. No, go ahead. You're fine.
I just want to what you. Do we need to read a comment? Because I don't
Mm-mm.
want to.
I was just trying to find Ellen's here. So go ahead.
Oh, hey, Ellie. Um, for me, so we got a really nice bike, total gym, really nice treadmill, all right here in the home. And what happens for me when really, really quickly with even if I bend over too much or too long, um, it starts the nerves in my head, and then it will start the burning, swelling, and then it will start pain. And so exercising, I can do basic things, but really, really quickly,
Mm-hmm.
I will go from, maybe a 4 or 5 to a 10 in seconds. So that's part of the reason I need the surgery that I do need, so that I can, and it's just lap band surgery from one of the best doctors, surgeons here in Utah that really specializes in this. Because I need to give my body a chance to make anything. And then what happens when you can't exercise? Obviously, you you damn near have to not eat anything, to not slowly gain weight. And for me, I've bounced between 20 pound mark for years now. So it's kind of stopped at a certain point,
Mm-hmm.
but and then the pull from any excess weight, it literally pulls on the damaged nerves that are in my neck, which immediately, very quickly wrap around my head and then connect to my eye, and then my whole head is wrapped in hell. So, to give a little bit of background about me, I that happens very quickly when I get up. So imagine feeling just from basic walking. If I went on the treadmill right now and I walked for 5 minutes, just even 5 minutes, it would be, I would, I would, so imagine if you ran, some runners can run for, well, Rex, he, he doesn't run so much anymore because I think it's taken a toll on your body a little bit, your knees or whatever, or no. I
Mm-hmm.
forget why you stopped running.
Oh, main, mainly I hate running in the cold, but
Well,
I've got to start training for Spartan again. But
anyway, he can run miles and miles and miles and not have his body react. Where my fevers get so high so quickly that I've been able to, if I get close enough to someone, they can feel the heat radiating. And that happens within 5 minutes of just walking at a decent pace, not really, really fast. That's been brutal. That has been one of the hardest things to have ripped from me because I always was actively decorating, doing something with furniture, rearranging, going out, doing things with my family or
we
friends or whatever. Just
served in the
constant yeah,
community.
I
We
love
helped
that.
to Both of
Um,
us helped to plan a luau for the community, and we did the haka and just
yeah,
different things.
some really fun things. We so to give a little perspective about the nerves in my head, they're so bad that I lay on it's over $100 pillow. It's ridiculous. But It's because it it holds my head, which I need, so I'm not using anything to hold it. Otherwise, that will start something. But yet it won't push back so much. But even this pillow and hospital grade beds where I can sit up, put my feet up, it's all, we've got remotes um, um, for it. It massages you. It whatever it does it. Even with all of that, my pillow and my bed can hurt me and just start something if I make the tiniest wrong move. And everyone knows that, especially my family, my children, and Rex, um, um, and our friend, and those closest to me knows. Like, I will forget and go to do something and kind of do something that will jar my head a little bit, and they will be like, "Mom, stop!" Or like, "Don't," because they know
They look
the
out for you.
nerves are so raw and so in control and so loud and so much the divas in my life. Like, I I'm in control. I'll tell you what you're gonna do with your life, right? So that's what is gonna be fun about us all learning about each other, because we can even be diagnosed with the same thing, but have totally different journeys, in
Hmm.
some ways. So for me, walking, um, that's fine if I'm going to do a teeny little brushing my teeth, washing my face. I refuse to give up some things, and that's skincare and hair care, and just things that are very simple but still within my control. I'm hopefully going to be getting back into my drawing soon. But
Hey,
yeah,
Chartra.
it's I can't know for me. So that was a huge long answer to what I wanted to express and say. For me, no, walking isn't good. Walking is
And it's possible that
it's rough as hell.
after you get this procedure, that you might not even know what next steps are.
No,
You're
we
like,
already know that. So we pretty much have four doctors. My general doctor, my neurologist, pain management, and the surgeon himself all agree that this is a very different case, but it's very needed. And they've literally, um, my neurologist specifically, has said medically necessary. Insurance doesn't care. I've been denied 4 times. I'm not ready to go through it. It's too much on Rex to try to get it all. You know what I mean? But anyway, they we know this is something that I thought through very, very hard. And I pitched to the doctors, and they just so happen to think, that's right. That's not a bad idea. We don't know what it's, and this is why we kind of want to take you guys on the journey, but we really need YouTube up to really get the longer vlogs in for you. Um, and of course, we can do little short minute long things, but I would like to be able to actually show the process and explain feelings and explain, because that's taught me a lot when YouTubers have taken me on their journeys.
mhm.
But we, in many ways, it's unknown. What I do know is it will make it easier for me and my body to have less weight on me. I'm not hugely overweight, but it's enough for my nerves to make me suffer more. So
Yeah,
it will give, I do know one thing, it will give a degree of relief, just
that alone.
because there won't be so much pulling on the nerve that's damaged in my neck. And then it will make exercising easier. We don't know the percentage, but that
Right.
doesn't matter. It will make it easier. And quite frankly, the number one thing This isn't going to cure my pain, the surgery. But what it will do, my bones are deteriorating, and I'm young. Well, middle
Relatively young.
aged. I'm almost 45, but it's
Yeah,
young for bones deteriorating.
yeah, for sure.
I have to do something. I have to take a step to help my body so that my body can help protect my bones and my nerves and it's not going to be easy. I already know that. But guess what? I've walked into a lot of things knowing it would be easy. I've I haven't ever been afraid of trying new things or
Of
being
change.
taken on. No. I've never shied away from that. I just ketamine treatments were my last pretty much my last resort and I was declined from that. And they just didn't feel safe.
Like it was going to be safe.
And I respected that. Even though there's a lot of people with the same diagnosis as me that are getting approved and getting it done for whatever reason. And I just said I respect that. If you don't feel like it's a safe thing, then I don't feel safe. You know?
We don't have a for sure surgery date, Natalie,
No, we wish we
yet.
did. We're still trying to because insurance has denied it 4 times. That's the whole reason my cousin started the GoFundMe. And I, so no, we don't have any for sure anything, but we're trying to get it done
Trying
as
to get it
soon as
narrowed.
possible because what's happening for me is my body is becoming weaker and weaker. There are some days where I get genuinely scared. And I tell Rex, I'm so weak that it feels like it's running in my blood and my bone marrow. It feels that deep. And I get afraid to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And it's just my body's had it. It's tired. It's fighting against multiple things.
Yeah. The hardest, one of the hardest things for me, whenever anybody in my position's trying to explain what they go through, there's never a way to respond without having it be a mix of your own self-interests and the interests that you have for them. Part of the difficulty is just knowing not only is she's suffering and she's trying to manage the pain, but how hard it must be for her in all the ways that you can imagine that you're in bed most of the time.
Yeah, I'm not okay, guys.
I mean,
I'm not.
this is somebody
And you know what? You're
she
the
would not
first
be
people.
spending
You're some of the first people I've just outright said that to. I'm not doing it. I'm not
uh,
okay.
and this is somebody that would be doing anything but being in bed all the time,
Yeah,
and
no, that's not who I am.
that
Period.
we have years and years and years of life where even with her being in pain and having the history of the tumor removals and stuff, that her life was the opposite of that.
Yeah,
She was up with
the first
kids and
tumor
she was
removal.
worked for a time and she's
Yeah,
served
first
the
tumor
community.
removal went really well. My nerves healed pretty well. But then what's happened over time is, you get things cut into so much. So there is a massive amount of scar tissue entangled with my nerves. And then I only have a fraction of my lacrimal gland left, which creates tears and any moisture for your eye. Um, and when just so you try to imagine, he cuts almost the full length of my eyelid open, and then he's had to shave my. He thought he would have to cut a big, kind of a inch-long rectangular piece out of my whole brow bone just to get the size of tumor that it was out. He was able to squeeze my eyeball over against my nose while they were prying my eye open with 4 different, strings. I mean, they were able to pull that out without cutting my brow bone, but these had to shave my brow bone, some of the bone away on second or third surgery. I can't remember. But that being your eyelid and your nerves. So even sometimes me blinking can hurt. Rex cannot. He can no longer give me a kiss on the forehead on my left side, anywhere on my left side, my left temple, my left forehead, or top of my head. Um, Trying to pluck my eyebrows, you might as well just be shoving large needles in every time.
And no, Natalie, we Medicare. She's not eligible for
The
state
disability,
benefits because she didn't work long enough.
I I worked. They they said I would have needed to work 2 more years in my life to be. They won't even look at me.
Yeah, so
We've tried that three
so we not
times.
even a she's not even a
I
candidate
I
to be
get
able to
denied for
get
everything.
on disability benefits or Medicare or anything like that.
Yeah, no,
It's just
no,
ridiculous. It's the people. I mean, there's safety nets and coverage, insurance coverage, and that I don't want to demonize a lot of what is out there that's available for people, but when her cousin and them approach us because we've gotten to a point now where Nell's not, she's in bed most of the time. Yeah, if they're going to put a GoFundMe out there and I'm going to put it on the link in my bios,
that was still hard
it
to
was
agree
hard to
to,
do
just
that.
because we haven't had a good experience before,
Yeah, yeah. Money's a
and
sensitive issue for
it really
people.
is, and that was hard, but at the same time, what a generous and selfless act, and for them to go out of their way and offer that, and just
Yeah, she says, I'm so very sorry. I never realized how lucky some are. I'm so sure it was. Yeah. I mean, you would think it's like, okay, my wife's in bed almost all the time.
they don't care what I
Her,
go through.
she's
No,
tried all these kinds of things. Insurance is denying it. And
and I
if anybody's disabled,
yeah,
she's disabled. I mean,
I'm I'm
I have,
more disabled than his friend
yeah,
Chad,
Chad,
but
Chad Hymas is a friend back in the high school days, and he had a bale of hay fall on him, and you look him
when we
up. He's
say
got a
Bella Hay,
website.
I
He
believe it
speaks
was
around the
one of
world.
those huge round ones, massive round ones. I think that's what rolled on him. So we're not
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
we're
the Bella
talking a
Hay.
big, massive, round bale of hay
Yeah, and
made
he has
him
suffered.
paralyzed. But and he even knows that I feel this way, and I don't mean any
No, no,
like
no, no.
negative to him, but in a lot of ways, Nell's more disabled than him in terms of he's able to travel the world and gets assistance
Oh
from.
yeah, no, I
So we
can't.
don't want to dismiss or
No,
compare
it's just
hardship,
it's
but
just
goodness,
different. For me, I can't. I okay. So if I gently rub, this will kind of tell you how messed up my nerves are. If
hey
I,
Antonio, thanks for joining us. Go ahead.
huh? Antonio?
Antonio was one of the ones that was on the Zoom that joined. We wasn't able to get, we wasn't able. He had a drop before we
Oh
was able to talk,
really? I'm so
but
sorry.
but
Thanks
he was
for
part of the
being here.
collaboration video and things.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love it. Thank you so much.
what's up, brother?
We'll get to have you on again, I
Hey,
hope.
glad you joined us, man.
If I gently rub above my eyebrow, just like the lightest touch, I can feel it feels like someone is literally touching the top of my head. It's all messed up. My point is, they're all entangled. They're all extremely unhappy. I then
Yeah,
what
but
happened after the third tumor removal? Then what happened is my brain things started to miscommunicate, which is what the CRPS is. It literally now my brain tells my body I have injuries, and so that's why I get fevered and swelling and pain, a lot of pain. And it will tell just It's just communicating. It feels like it hasn't been healed, or there's another injury, and so that's where, on top of my nerve issues, there's now this, which
Yeah,
just causes the burning and digestive issues and the swelling and more pain.
yeah, Natalie, the private insurance. So we had an insurance company. We submitted it,
Twice.
denied. We submitted the appeal,
Mm-hmm.
denied.
Got new
We
insurance.
have a company that acquired my company so that we can have
Well, long story
more
short, got new
financial backing and
insurance
got new insurance.
that
We
was supposed to be
applied,
great.
denied, appealed, denied. And so, yeah, could we go
Even
and
the
pursue a
doctors
lawyer? Could
saying,
we do this? I
but
mean, it's
this
just
is what
so,
got
it
me
takes so
too.
much time.
Even the doctors, when they were sending it in the fourth time, or the or rec saying,
Yeah, because I
they were now
compiled
they were now submitting it as, this is now urgent.
urgent,
I
medical,
got
and
a letter
necessary.
saying, this is not urgent. If you experience this, or this, then it's considered urgent. And I was like, you just described me. Like,
Yeah,
I experienced that, but I'm not urgent, and you don't want to listen to my doctors. It doesn't matter that the doctor's saying it's medically necessary.
yeah. I spent
It does not matter.
I don't
But
know how many
now
hours
this,
I've spent
for me,
having them compile all their documents
it's
together.
so
And
messed up. But other people, so we know of someone that is pretty sure they're getting approved for their weight loss surgery. And yeah, that's hard. That's hard. I'm not trying to cry, but god damn, it's hard to hear other people that maybe their main problem and condition is weight, which I don't want to minimize, or that the weight is causing other painful conditions. But when they're saying this person is not getting up, and she's getting weaker, and her bones are deteriorating, and she's suffered long enough. My general doctor sent the most beautiful letter, including my neurologist. They sent very, very heartfelt letters about how long I've suffered, and it's been hard to watch, and she deserves this, and it doesn't. They don't care.
oh,
But people are
if
getting
you
approved right and left for their
if
weight loss
you
surgeries.
if you go and click my link in the bio, the link tree, and you click on the first link, that takes you to the GoFundMe. But because I've been blocked temporarily for posting, I wasn't able to post the video that I created that has some slides of Nell's letter.
Which again, if anybody knows why we were
So
blocked,
go and look at Missy Marvin's imperfectly perfect post that she posted
she
because
showed
I
it.
created that
Yeah.
and she put that out there. But I don't know how any human being
And it has my
could read
original letter
Nell's
that
letter.
I sent to the insurance companies.
Well,
I was telling what you were saying. It includes my letter
yeah,
that I sent to the insurance
it
companies.
included a letter from the neurologist and the saying medically necessary and a letter plus all the records, the family doctor, a pain
Pain
management
management and the
facility,
surgeons.
and her letter.
And the surgeon saying I'm there, will he wanted to do this.
That's
So it's
crazy.
just, no, they don't care. I've never got a dime for disability. I've never, and now they just took my Botox away.
Yeah, it's
So,
so
and
I
that was a big hit.
and
That's a big hit.
is it possible that if I continue to spend more hours and hours and hours and hours pursuing it, that there might be a 1% chance that someone might change their mind? Maybe, but guys, I have spent so
Yeah, we can't
much
keep doing it. We
time.
can't live to try to get approved. We can't.
Yeah,
But then on the
it's
flip side,
a lot of work.
hell, I've said it before, the medical marijuana, boom, 1 month, just under $1,000. It's not cheap, and you come with cash or you don't get it. And so I, it's like I would love to try to stay on that to see if I could. I don't. You don't. Who has $1,000 a month to just throw around to try everything? And then that's not even including the co-pays and all the medical bills that aren't. you know, covered in this pretty little package, and it's just it's too much. It's all too much, and we're just trying to
So
we're
we
literally grasping
reluctantly
right now. We're trying to find something to help my body.
we reluctantly, you know, worked with giving them some of the information and sharing the
Yeah.
letter with her cousin and the his her cousin's wife, who was really kind of um, reached out to us and
Well,
wanting to do that. And
they've just been pure angels. They're just angels.
yeah, and as you can imagine, as people have gotten word of Nell's story, um, they've they've responded
Well, and I
and
just again I can't wait to hear. I just um I'll use Courtney and Misty as an example as far as like the Will and Stephanie and Andrea. Just I have been so humbled at your stories,
yeah,
and it gives me even more to smile about and count my blessings over. And you
Julie's
guys have
story.
no, oh, yeah, our friend
Our,
goes, you guys will meet her. We're we're hoping she'll get on here for one
yeah,
of the
she
interviews. She
is
has
an
Hashimoto's
amazing
and her own stuff.
support and warrior, and is part of all of this, you guys.
And you don't know how much you've helped already. You just have no idea. You have no idea. Um, so thank you,
Yeah.
because the more I get to know all of you, the more I just thank my Heavenly Father for all that I have, um, and for bringing us together. Which makes me, leaves me thinking of we presented and showed two prizes on the live as we kind of end at near the end of this on the live where we did turn TikTok purple, and then we posted pictures of those two prizes again.
Hmm.
And because he got blocked, I've not been able to go in and put the names in. So as soon as he's unblocked, we are going to be putting any names in that have been in the lives, and then we will show once all your names in. We'll go to one of those apps, that basically um,
Chooses something in from the
it
hat, kind
it
of a
kind of
heads
just
up.
spins your names, and then yeah. So and then after that we will show the next two prizes that will be going out and what the rules of that game is, and we kind of already shared that a little bit anyway too.
Yeah,
But
just to have
we,
a little bit of
yeah,
fun.
even just that, you guys have no idea how much you've given to me to be able to start putting all these
Your
prizes that I've saved
ideas
for
and
so long.
your art, and kind of
Yeah, we are going to
creativity.
be printing some art and eventually selling some of my, adding that to where you can get some of the artwork if you want, or,
It's just another way
and
to
all of that
connect
kind of goes
beyond the
back
talking.
into
And
the channel to this
uh,
anyway. So, I just can't. I want to give these next two prizes so we can introduce the next two prizes. I'm so excited. But thank you for being patient,
you
you guys. This week, clearly with little Taiten's funeral tomorrow, and needing to stop and slow down and focus on
yeah,
his little life.
Natalie, go check the YouTube link in my link tree in my bio and go and watch some of the live and the collaboration video. We've put
Yeah.
a collaboration video together of a number of people that wanted to share a message, and so I put that together, and that's all on YouTube, so you can kind of get caught up with some things
And
there.
if
But hope
please,
that you
please
enjoy
invite
kind of some of
anybody
the
that you
stuff
know.
that we put out there as you get caught up.
Please invite anybody that you know
Yeah,
to. We definitely want this community to grow on TikTok, but you guys, I know I keep saying it, but it's
YouTube
so important.
subscribers.
No, 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 it's important because we can put those longer where you cannot do that on TikTok.
Yeah,
I can put, we can put longer behind the scenes of our lives
yeah,
of our lives, not and then we can do the live. We'll be doing one live over there and one live on TikTok a week, but we eventually want to start uploading um, some video on lives and on our lives and taking you on whatever journey we're going
yeah,
on. And that is where YouTube is more, you know,
yeah.
is
So we see.
where it's more important because it's as far as that part of it. But so
Yeah, and we'll
please,
get there.
please, the best way we can help this grow is word of mouth and just sharing our channel on YouTube or here or and we have some things in the works and we're gonna when we start to see it come to fruition, I think you guys will be among the first and to be able to say, hey, I watched that happen. I watched that, I was, a big part of why that happened.
Yeah,
And
like Curly Dog, for example. I think
sweet.
she's. I don't know. She might have dropped.
Aw.
You still on her, Curly?
I love you, Curly, whether you're here or
I
not.
think she might
I
have
hope she
dropped,
comes back
but
in.
that's
But,
okay. She was one of the first ones that followed us.
well, yeah, and there's been just amazing people.
Yeah,
But we want to repay you for just your love and kindness, but also I want to just tell you, in my own fun way, with the gifts that you're thought of and your importance, and we're working hard to be able to get something. I We know some things are in the works, but we cannot tell how big or far this will go because it has the potential to be something really special. And we're just on the
we'll just
brink of some big changes.
we'll
So
just let
please,
it kind
please
of do its
share it.
thing.
Yep, best thing we can do is share, and anyone that's suffering or isolated or just needs a place to call someone friends or call home, whatever, please bring them along with you, and we would love to get to know all of
Yeah,
you.
we are.
And
It's
not
true. We're
debate.
stronger
Oh,
together.
absolutely.
You you talk about Antonio. You that we inspire you with our strength. You know, it's not just strength that exists in ourselves, as we need to just puff it up to say, hey, look how strong we are. I mean, we get strength from you guys.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
You know,
There's no
um,
way to express. I mean, if I sat for hours and I tried to really think hard and write it down, I'm sure I could come up with some words that might do it some justice, but really, sometimes there's not words in the English language to express what someone or something someone has done means. And that's kind of where I'm at with you guys.
yeah. For
And just, you're just so important to this whole process. You're so pivotal
for
to
me,
this shift.
and I'll just kind of say this as
Yeah, and then we're going to wrap it up.
um, in the area of being okay, and tying that back to kind of the answer to that question, the easiest way to say it is that I am extremely blessed, and there is so much to be grateful for, and so much that I am absolutely okay with. In the area where I've not been okay, to give you kind of an idea of the road that I've kind of been on, I've been so not okay that I have felt that there isn't any conversation that I could have with Heavenly Father or God about what Nell has had to go through, what I've had to go through, that would make it okay for me. I just could not that meant that he was my enemy, not that
I think people understand
you
that,
know,
but
I,
it's
I couldn't see there ever being
justification.
a reconciliation or an answer that he could explain to me that would help me get to a space where I was like, oh, okay, we're good now. But this and all of us and Nell and what's happening here, it helps with that.
I don't know. You could just have, for me, it's like
It helps with that.
way beyond. Like it's so far beyond. Okay, I'm good with that. It's thank you for entrusting me with your masterpiece. Thank
Yeah,
you
and
for
I'm
giving me a part to play in
and
that beautiful, perfect, intricately woven masterpiece. That
yeah,
is,
and Nell, in so many ways, not only has been so much, whether you want to call it at a higher levels or more advanced or more mature or more strong or virtuous, she might deny a lot of those things, but the obvious that people that are attracted to her see that, and you can see that she's special. Not that that means that she's superior to people, uh,
a
but
1000% no.
but she's obviously helped me, raise me hopefully to higher levels just by being influenced by her and trying to raise my stature up to where I see. But when
No,
she
we're just
speaks,
different. That's so I don't think that it's. I just think I've never. For me, it's never been a question of. It's just been. It's just been a wonderment for me. Like I wonder why this has.
yeah,
But very rare. I could write. I don't get angry.
yeah, and I've had to, and maybe you guys can relate with this. I've had to be okay with me being where I'm at and how that's maybe different
Yeah,
than her.
absolutely.
It's
I'll,
it's
we're
not going to do me any
nobody's
good
funny
in my
here,
relationship with my creator if I'm not honest to say I'm pissed as hell. I'm not okay with
right?
you right now, and
Yeah.
I love you, but um, and so it has been empowering. Ellen's back. That's what I wanted to do earlier. I wanted to make you a mod, Ellie. Okay.
What if they don't want that? You need to ask them.
Ellen? Yeah. Oh
Well,
no.
no, you gotta ask people because
Oh,
people have made me a mod before, and I've been like, "Excuse me,
okay.
I want a mod for your asses." Like,
Okay. But
you know,
yeah.
you
Okay.
guys say
Maybe
too many. You touch on touchy things. I don't want mod for you.
Donna Jackson's joined too. We're actually Donna. We're actually closing. She's going to
Yep,
be one of the
it will
ones
be
that are
on
going to
the
be our
YouTube.
guest speakers.
It will be on YouTube.
Donna, go
Please
check it
come
out.
follow on YouTube. I can't say
Go
that.
check it out all in YouTube. We're closing up here, my friend. But Donna Jackson, the Donna Jackson, she's going to actually be one of the ones that is going to joining us as a guest.
I
In
cannot wait.
We're
I
looking forward
cannot wait.
to having you join us. She was on the Zoom call when we did
Mm-hmm.
the Tic Tac Purple. So sorry you're actually joining when we're about to get off, but check the video. Give it a couple of days, and I'll upload
Does it really
this
take that long
to
to
YouTube.
upload?
been 3 hours.
Takes 2 days to.
No, I
You
might be
need
able
it
to get it
tomorrow
up.
afternoon?
It might be just tomorrow or something. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm getting better at the file. You don't have to save as big of a file size, and I
Yeah.
can upload it faster and all this stuff.
See, and once we start being able to do live on YouTube, we don't have to stop and save it.
Do as
Save
much
it.
as that. Yeah.
And then I can interact with you guys. So even at like the next day, I'll be able to interact with your comments.
But anyway, I wanted to just close that thought in that Antonio talked about strength, and not only can we get strength from each other,
Yeah.
but of course we get strength from God and the Lord. And that can sometimes be complicated. Sometimes it could just be easy, but sometimes it could be complicated because you know you're blessed and you know you're getting strength from Him and the love and all that He has for us. But at the same
Or
time,
whoever you
He's
believe is your
somehow
higher
He's the
power.
reason why in some kind of connection way as to why things are even the way they are, and He could change them, and so it's a, a personal conflict that I think we all go through that we oftentimes maybe don't share, and to the whatever degree that we can bring that out, and that I'm at least choosing to include in the conversation, that I want to put that out there. Of course, there's going to be a degree of that that's private and personal, and that's just between me and him. Not even know. Um, but
Oh, well, that's fine. I don't. You can have your crap. I don't want your crap. The
but but
great thing
that's
about having a maker is he made you, not me.
yeah.
You can say,
Yeah, so maybe one day we'll have a talk when I am in a resurrected body, and I will get to that point
Heavenly
where I'm like,
Father,
I'm
hide.
good with it all, but
Heavenly Father, hide.
I'm
He's
I'm
coming
not there yet. But I sure love him for the record,
for the
and
record.
and
We all
we're
vouch
not
for you.
enemies, but I just not at that point where I'm like, I'm just so grateful for the
You're not
opportunity.
cozy cozy yet?
Not
Not
even
yet.
close, not even close, and it's
Rex
better for me to
has.
be
Rex
honest about
has.
that.
I have to be sensitive to Rex too, because especially when they went into really they went into my ganglion cyst, which controls pretty much every nerve in one side of your face and head. They hit that really hard to try to uh, burn it. Were
Yeah,
they burning or freezing that one? I can't remember.
which one?
The ganglion.
That was a freeze.
Or not ganglion, I'm just saying that
Yeah,
wrong.
both this was freeze, and the back
Ganglion
was the
is
burn.
totally different. What's this, the group of nerves?
Yeah, that's the ganglion exists.
No, ganglion is what I had cut out right here.
No.
Could they be the same name, but like
I
one's nerves and one's a cyst? Well, anyway, so that went opposite of what the doctor thought, complete opposite. And Rex has seen a lot of things. He's witnessed me almost pass a few times. Um,
I've seen
he's
I,
seen pain that is
I've seen suffering that would be
it's it's the
like
thing of
think
my
of the worst
nerves.
thing
It's
like in
yeah,
the concentration
yeah,
camp in
no
war.
worse
I
thing.
mean, just
In some ways
think of
worse. I
you
can't say
know
because I've not been there. But when I came out of that procedure and the numbing wore off, I felt every single nerve in the left side of my face. Every nerve that went, and it split straight down the middle. So I felt all the teeth. Can you imagine all your teeth aching at once? Um, in my head, my eye, my in my bones felt like they were being crushed. And while the doctors were frantically trying to have meds made because they were having needing a special ointment made, and some other medications like rushed, but it took longer because we had to get it from a pharmacy that was literally mixing it.
hmm
Um, and there was a panic with But so that whole, I don't know how many hours I was without meds, and that's where I say, I know you can die from pain if it gets bad enough. I was starting to struggle to breathe. My heart, my chest was in so much pain. I couldn't understand how I didn't have a heart attack. Um, and it was such great pain for so many hours. I couldn't sit, I couldn't kneel, I couldn't lay, I didn't know what to do with myself. And when I finally when the meds kicked in enough, because we had to keep like working on it. It took got so bad that it took so long to work it down. Um, at, that that Rex and the kids and Julie had to take turns babysitting me because I was throwing up still in that much pain, and throwing up obviously only makes my head pain worse. But when I was sleeping, my daughter was watching me. She was just like, "You're my whole body, everything would just jerk. My legs, my arms, my it was that traumatic. Everything was jerking and just out of control for hours, and having that hard a time to come down from I this is that's the kind of pain where I get really frustrated with the 1 to 10 pain scale. That's why me and Rex kind of laugh and think about we're gonna make our own stinking scale that goes way
Yeah,
past a little tear, you know, or
yeah.
yeah, um, that's gonna be fun. Trying to think up some artwork for that.
The pain scale that the images would scare kids, even
Yeah,
looking at it. You know.
yeah, it would need a probably a rating on it to view it.
Yeah.
Just not not for children under 18 year old. Um, yeah, he's had to watch that stuff, so I
Yeah.
can't imagine
Well,
what why I
I
can't
am.
imagine his feeling and what he wants to have explained to him. That's his journey.
I'm.
But
I'm great. I am grateful for the compassion that comes with it.
yeah, I'm not worried about you.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You know, I, I,
We already know the
I
devil's
don't
taken
know.
you.
I think that you have to go through things to be able to like have something in you to where when someone else is going through it, that I don't know, you have like you have a genuine care that someone else might not have because they just can't really relate. It's just like, not that they don't have any problems or suffering, right? Everybody can, I think, have compassion for each other if you've had even just a minor headache. But when when the suffering has been that deep, you just have a fast connection with people when they share that they're suffering. And that's what I think we've got here with this community for sure, is that we get it, guys. We get it. And it's there's strength that comes when you really feel like,
And it's
yeah,
so
we get
incredible
it.
what we can go through. So incredible how resilient we are. Really, just watching Taiten go for days and days without food, without liquids. I mean, I don't know how many times the doctor said it'll be within the next 24 hours. It will be tight. It will be,
Hmm.
and his whole body was working to take one breath. That baby hung on. I mean, our jaws were dropped. We could not believe his strength.
Yeah,
He was just a little skeleton in the end. He wasn't, it was, that part was brutal to watch. He just hung on days beyond what they thought.
yeah,
Just talk about an absolute tiny warrior. Oh my word. It's just amazing what my sister and I are talking. We're talking about how incredible when our spirit sometimes is what's more in control. It's amazing what our body does to follow that.
Mm.
And boy, his spirit was leading from the minute he took his first breath, and he just got stronger and stronger as far as his heart and soul, and his body followed suit. He what a touching celebration of that little boy's life it will be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um,
And we,
and then we cannot wait. We cannot wait to meet more of you and talk to you. And one day we're gonna have this meetup. We're
that
gonna
would be
do
a fun.
another meetup,
That would be awesome.
and those will be the epic ones
Yeah, you guys
because
are you
oh
guys are a
yeah,
strength to us, and I really hope that some of the honest, raw talk that we're sharing helps you guys to feel like, if that is what you might even be going through, and maybe you haven't even shared that with anybody, to just know that, it's okay. I think it's more normal than we think, and if that can help take some of the edge off of what you're struggling with, whether it's something, you know, you're angry about, or you're trying to just cope with something, or uh, it's it's a goal that we've got, and I hope that we're progressing in a direction that where we can even be more and more of that for more and more people. Um, and we're just two people in the mix of all of that. We're with you. We're, it's not like we're leading it all and everybody else is not doing
no,
anything, and
I even hate
we're
to say
sitting
that
right above.
because stop saying that because it's totally opposite.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, but it just I hate. I just when it even comes out of your mouth like, oh, we're not. No, we're not the leaders. Well, of course not. That's
Yeah,
how I
that's
feel.
I'm just trying to say, look,
No, I'm gonna get me a stick long enough so I can poke you every time.
it's time
It's
for me to
so
have
of
some.
course not. It's quite honestly the opposite to me
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
So the leaders, I'm waiting to hear their stories. I'm waiting to get to know you. I'm waiting to. That's what this is about.
Yeah, she's always saying things better than me for sure.
No, I don't always see. I need a stick, guys. I need a stick. Yeah.
I
Once in a while, they'll see a stick flash in front of the camera.
Yeah, Courtney said, "Get him, Mel."
Poke, smack.
Oh shit! I love it.
Oh my gosh. I'm
Listen,
ordering it this week. I'm on it. I'm
you
on
you guys need to remember to you know have a break from some of the serious talk sometimes too, right? I'm gonna go grab myself some Taco Bell.
it. Oh.
Uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna you know get Julie up here and we're gonna watch a
No,
movie or something.
she's going
If she's not, we sometimes do that, sometimes not. But either way, I'm gonna have some Taco Bell.
to. He doesn't care what happens. He's getting Taco Bell, yeah.
But anyway,
Oh,
yeah,
some
before we
Taco
go to
Bell.
bed, it's good to talk
No.
about.
Oh, I thought you were saying Taco Bell's good. I'm like, nah.
I'm gonna get Taco Bell. I'll talk about what you're gonna get, and I'll pick you up something.
I don't know.
But anyway, it's good to talk about serious topics, and I hope that this is a part of it. Nachos Milk Grande. No, I'm more of a taco, more of a bean burrito,
If
uh,
they do the
avocado
portions
ranch.
right on the nachos, okay, if they, dang, it's upsetting when they're like somebody's maybe having a bad night or they're tired or whatever,
Yeah.
and you get like half a scoop of meat or whatever, and I'm like, so I got chips with
Yeah.
3 ground beef.
Well, if anybody knows me,
Or
Taco Bell is my place. That's if
you
I'm on my
guys, it's
deathbed,
ridiculous. He used to try.
keep my
He
feet
used to think we were
warm.
dumb, and he would say, "It's got all the food groups: the tortillas, the grains, the beans, the protein." And he'd try to pull it on us like it's he's
The
eating some
veggies.
stinking healthy meal. And we would sit there. These were when our kids were younger,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, "Dad, are you seriously trying
Listen, if I'm on
that?"
my deathbed,
Oh,
you keep my feet warm and you give me a bean burrito, and
yeah. He cannot
I
handle his
could
feet being cold.
I could pass with my loved ones around
If
me and
he
those
ever
two
goes to the
things.
ER, two
Oh,
things
my feet
happens.
cold.
Two things will guarantee happen if he goes to the ER, which he rarely does. He will make those nurses work for their money.
Yeah,
And then eventually I'm like, listen, I can do it for you, but then I feel weird. I don't want to go into there, where they keep the blankets warm.
yeah.
He's got to be
Load up.
tucked in like a stinking 5-year-old, his feet warm, several layers of blankets. Then, if he gets pain meds, oh,
I just need my feet warm.
it's work.
It's okay.
It's work going, Rex, shh, Rex. You don't need to talk, Rex. Yeah, okay, yes, you love me. Yeah, oh, you're welcome for me. Bring it. Because he'll go, you're the best wife. And he'll be so loud. Thank you for loving me.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's if I was
I
in pain
said
meds
you
or
get your
something.
pain meds, then
Oh
it's a
yeah.
whole other type of babysitting.
I'm a baby.
No,
I am
you're
a baby. Well,
not. It's with your feet. It's funny.
well, we're gonna sign off. Look for the full video if you've joined late on YouTube, and we look forward to having Courtney and her family on next Thursday.
Yay!
So Courtney will probably be
Yeah, you
chatting
guys don't want to miss that.
a little bit, um, but what an amazing spirit she is. She's a firecracker. She's a flower that
Fighter, flower,
she's
firecracker.
an amazing person,
That
and
little effer.
we're we're grateful
Courtney,
that
Courtney, you
she's
get my sense of humor soon enough. Sorry.
we're really grateful for you and your family, Courtney. We've connected just with you guys very quickly, and just very blessed to have you guys as part of all of this. So we're looking forward to seeing you
I'm
on
so
the
laughing
Zoom
at you.
next Thursday, 6 p.m. Mountain Time.
Did you get my
Until
joke?
what?
Did you get my joke?
They get your joke?
You didn't get it?
Say it again.
Because when I was using Courtney, you were a fighter, and then you threw flower, and I was like, and firecracker. She said that too. We were describing Courtney, fighter, flower, firecracker. So I call her a little effer.
A little effort because of all the efforts.
Yeah.
She's the LOL so loud. But still,
Oh shoot.
that's what you get.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys will slowly learn my sense of humor and my potty mouth.
Anyway,
Just
thanks for
saying
hanging out for us, especially for those that have been here the whole time. It's a good 3 hours, and go give your loved ones
it
a
goes
love.
by so fast. Like we could hang out with you guys all day if we had the time.
Yeah,
It flies by.
yeah, it's awesome.
So awesome. You're
But okay,
the best
well,
of the best. Try to get some rest.
go to get go and get some rest.
I know it'll be a test.
She's gonna be rhyming all night now.
Go climb in your nest.
All right, guys, we're out. Love ya. See you next
Love you
week.
guys.
Bye.